So are we starting at 10 a.m.?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Dr. Arshi. Good morning, ma'am.
A very good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Yeah. So another 5 minutes, we'll start. Is that okay? You have a presentation or anything to be shared, ma'am?
Right, I'll share my presentation in case if it is fine. Is my
Yeah. Your audio is
screen
clear.
visible?
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It
Is-
is. It is. It is. Use a presentation in your. Give me a minute, ma'am. We are just checking that. We'll put it on the screen. Just a minute. In the background and the backdrop photo of photo. இது கூட பேக்ரவுண்ட்ல இருக்கலாம். இது இருக்கட்டும். இந்த ஆடியன்ஸ் வந்த பிறகு இந்த இது காமிக்கலாம் உங்களுக்கு. ஆடியன்ஸ் வந்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. 10 minutes சொல்லிருக்கேன். சார் இந்த பிரசன்டேஷன் மேல போகுங்க.
It seems that I'm the only one who is not present there. Most of our people are. It seems that I'm only not present there.
No. We have few of them. They're having their coffee now, right now. They're just expected in few minutes.
உங்க மெயில் ஐடி சொல்லுங்க. நிஷாந்த் பரேரா NISH ANTH CORERA.k@VITTBI.ac.in. ஓகேவா?
Ma'am, we will start now. We'll get started now, ma'am.
Yes, please. Yeah, we can.
Yeah. A very good morning to all present here and online. The Department of Biotechnology, DBT, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, along with its public sector undertaking, Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, BIRAC, is organizing a global BioIndia GBA 2023 from 4th to 6th December at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. The theme of the GBI 2023 is Transforming Lives Biosciences to Bioeconomy. The event is supported by the industry associations and Invest India with focus on biotech innovation ecosystem and biomanufacturing. VITTBI is extremely happy to host this roadshow as a run-up towards the Global BioIndia 2023. We would like to thank DBT and BioRack for this opportunity. We have an interesting lineup of eminent speakers for this roadshow. I, on behalf of VITTBI, would like to welcome Dr. Arshi Mehboob, Senior Manager BioRack, Dr. M.A. Vijayalakshmi, Founding Director, Center for Bioseparation Technology, VIT, Dr. Vaibhav Bhatia, Founder and CEO, Lamarck Biotech, and an incubation at VITTBI, Dr. Krishnan, Director, Center for Bioseparation Technology, VIT, Dr. Amitava Mukherjee, Director, Center for Nanobiotechnology, VIT, and Dr. Shiva Ramamurthy, Dean, School of Biosciences and Technology, VIT, along with Dr. A. Balachandran, Director, VITTBI. We would like to welcome and thank all the students, scholars, and faculty who have joined us this morning. We are sure that the sessions will be informative for each of you. Welcoming our first speaker, Dr. Arshi Mehboob, with a robust skill set that includes auditing, clinical trials, HPLC, genomics, infectious diseases, and more. Dr. Arshi contributes valuable insights to the industry. Her expertise lies in creating effective strategies and frameworks to address public health challenges and improve health outcomes. She has a strong track record of successfully implementing programs based on report for proposals and specialized programs, ensuring their smooth execution and alignment with project goals in strict timelines. Inviting Dr. Arshi to please share details on Global BioIndia 2023. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Sudha, and Vellore Institute of Technology and Technology Business Incubator for hosting this Global BioIndia 2023 Roadshow. So a very good morning to everyone who has joined physically and virtually for this event. It is quite an opportunity to interact with a like-minded audience. On behalf of BioRack, I thank the VITTBI and I welcome you all to the Global BioIndia Summit 2023 to New Delhi. This year's theme, as Dr. Sudha have mentioned, is Transforming Lives, Biosciences to Bioeconomy. Few of you must be familiar with BioRack, and those who are not, I will take you through the slides to help you understand about BioRack, an ecosystem enabler, and the event structure and how you and your company, your institution can benefit by registering and participating in this event. I will take few questions after my presentation. So BioRack was incepted with a recognition to support and enable startup ecosystem in biotech space. I'm unable to, in biotech space, which has a vast potential. Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council is a not-for-profit Section 8 company, a public sector enterprise set up by Department of Biotechnology under Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. BioRack is an interface and an agency to strengthen and empower the emerging biotech enterprise to undertake strategic research and innovation ecosystem. BioRack is a dynamic organization and has been applying unique methodologies for nurturing the high-risk projects which hold potential for commercialization and has positioned itself as an organization for nurturing and promoting innovation-led research and plays an important role as a facilitator for enabling the innovation ecosystem for affordable product development through public-private partnership. BioRack mandate is intentionally wide and diverse and covers a wide range of developmental priorities ranging from health, agriculture, and its allied areas, industrial biotech, sanitation, clean energy, waste management, and data analytics, among others. BioRack has initiated several schemes, networks, and platforms that help to bridge the existing gaps in the industry, academia, innovation research, and facilitate novel and high-risk and high-quality affordable product development through cutting-edge technologies. BioRack has been supporting young researchers through small ideation grants for proof of concepts, medium grants for field testing and validation, and large grants to support the commercialization scales. We have a range, BioIndia has a range of programs like BIG. I think BIG is already familiar with most of the researchers, and we have a very vast incubation system as well. BioIndia has been supporting innovative translational research and facilitating the technology validation through product commercialization and enabling services to promote the innovation ecosystem, which have transformed the startup landscape in the country since 2012. BioIndia has been implementing mission programs of Government of India like Grand Challenges India, National Biopharma Mission, Make in India, Startup India, and INCEPI. BioIndia has extensively supported incubation centers across India. BioIndia has also launched schemes to mobilize private equity for the biotech startup ecosystem from angel investors. BioIndia supported innovation ecosystem touches the life of millions of people every single day, creating new opportunities for our grantees and partners and positively impacting the entire biotech economy in India. BioIndia in the last 10 years worked aggressively on expanding the programs and projects that we fund across a variety of themes. Today, BioIndia has supported around 4,000 startups, entrepreneurs, and small and medium enterprises across the country and looks forward to working with and supporting many more. BioIndia has implemented technology transfer initiatives as well as mechanisms that allow innovators to address regulatory affairs, intellectual properties, and commercialization queries. BioIndia has expanded the bio-incubation facilities across the country, enabling access to specialized infrastructure and equipment for high-end research by entrepreneurs and startups. More than 75 incubators are offering 7 lakh square feet of cumulative space and has created more than 30,000 plus jobs. This is a major step towards strengthening the R&D capabilities of country in turn promoting Atmanirbhar Bharat. BARIC's contribution to government's national programs such as Make in India and Startup India have grown. The support that BARIC have extended to over 4,000 entrepreneurs and startups over the last 10 years have now started translating into development of more than 200 novel products and technologies. BARIC Incubation is more than 75 incubation networks and big entrepreneurs have been across India. These BARIC has also contributed to national programs such as Make in India and Startup India. And these are the 4 vaccines which were supported under COVID-19 management strategy during 2020 to 2022, and Mission COVID Suraksha was led and implemented by BioIndia, and now we have 4 vaccines which have been granted emergency use authorizations. BioIndia has been building strategic partnerships for an innovation system. Our partner network is growing each day. So these are the international partnerships which BioIndia has created, established over the years. These are the novel products which have been. This is a short list of products supported over the years by BioIndia and which have touched the billion of lives. So coming back to Global BioIndia, I'll just take you through the slides about the event structure. So the Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, and its public sector undertaking BioIndia is organizing the 3rd Summit of Global BioIndia planned from 4th to 6th December 2023 in Bharat Mandapam, Pragati Maidan, New Delhi. The theme of the event is Transforming Lives, Biosciences to Bioeconomy. This mega international congregation of biotechnology stakeholders, including international bodies, regulatory bodies, central and state ministries, small and medium enterprises, large industries, bioclusters, bioincubators, research institutes, investors, and the startup ecosystem. GPI is being organized in partnership with Invest India, Startup India, Able, FICCI, CII, and TIE NCR. So the biotech sector is growing exponentially in India. India is surely considered as a biotech growth catalyst. And the highlight of the events are we are hoping and we are envisaging that more than 50 countries will partner. There will be more than 1,200 exhibitors and 3,000 plus delegates. The platform will enable the B2B meetings, B2G meetings, and G2G meetings with high quality of media interactions, policymakers, and global regulators meet and CEO roundtables, investor roundtables, and bio partnering, other line ministries and departments pavilions, state pavilions, science community connect for public sessions, workshops and boot camps, and the startup and country pavilions will be there. So Global BioIndia will be a business meeting platform showcasing India's biotech prowess to India and to the world. Biotech innovation ecosystem and biomanufacturing. As Honorable Prime Minister's clarion call for India to become a US $100 billion biomanufacturing hub and recognition of India as an emerging global innovation hub. So that one program will have two super sessions of biomanufacturing, biosciences to bioeconomy for Atmanirbhar Bharat, and the other super session is how to prepare India for the next pandemic, the pandemic preparedness, artificial intelligence, and the big data. The other sessions which go parallel will be high-level roundtable discussions on biomanufacturing as a national priority by invitation only, CEO roundtables, niche area meetings, strategic blueprint for catalyzing investments in biotech industries, and public sessions in the evening in which every citizen of India is invited on Science Connect with Society in Amphitheatre. Day 2 brings the two super sessions for transforming biological manufacturing, biomanufacturing into powerhouse as newest technologies, focusing on the smart proteins in India and bio-based energy solutions. The other super session is harnessing the power of genomics for personalized medicine. Other sessions will include CEO and conclave, investors from India and overseas. Other session will include fostering enabling ecosystem with conducive regulatory frameworks. We will have the CDSSO and drug regulatory affairs dignitaries from the other line ministries as well, advancing biological product development by entrepreneurs, artificial intelligence in drug discovery, and a public session in the evening with Science Connect with Society, focusing on interstellar the sciences and health sciences, and a product launch and women a biotech winner fellowship. The third day, which includes the emerging biotechnologies for sustainable future, agribiologicals and biostimulants, improving crop yields, new age farming with climate agriculture, with raising funds and sponsorship, entrepreneurs and investors view from India and US. And other sessions include regulatory reforms to support biotech innovations, first hub, which is a regular cell at Biotech has been supporting regulatory facilitation for startups and SMEs and public session on Science Connect with Society, focusing on healthcare. So, why to attend this? Global BioIndia. So, Bharat supported innovations, as we have been aware that the biotech sector is growing, and we are the leader in the global supply of DBT, BCG, and measles vaccines globally. Did you know that India is the world second largest producer of BT cotton, world third largest producer of recombinant hepatitis B vaccine? India has the second highest number of US FDA-approved manufacturing plants outside the US. The country is currently home to more than 523 US FDA-approved drug manufacturing facilities. The biotechnology industry in India comprises about 600 plus core biotechnology companies, approximately 2,600 plus biotech startups, and 75 biotech-supported incubators. India today is the largest biotech destination in Asia Pacific region. India is among 12 destinations for biotechnology in the world, with approximately 3% share in global biotechnology industry. Who should attend this? Who should attend the Global Bio India? Large industries, biopharma, bioagri, bio-industrial, bioenergy, bioservices, and medtech. Large industries, small and medium enterprises, entrepreneurs, researchers, academicians, innovators in biopharma, bioagri, bioindustrial, and enterprises looking for business partners and distributors in India and other global markets. Investors seeking opportunity to invest in biotechnology sector, states who are promoting investments in biotech sector, international and domestic public officials, regulatory agencies, patenting offices, clinicians, bioengineers, scientists, scholars from translational institutions, technology transfer offices, experts and mentors. Industry associations and bioincubators and enablers will be attending this event. Advantages. This platform is also having an exhibition platform, and this will be showcasing the product technologies and services. The foundation led by BARC during its over a decade journey so far has provided the biotech industry a platform to leverage the entrepreneurial surge and the investors' appetite. The event will be showcasing the product, technology, and services, will be a platform for networking and business opportunities, government grants and funding information, regulatory and certification information, learning opportunities and product launch, global partnerships and global philanthropies, global presence will be there, investors' attention, market validation opportunities and partnership opportunities along with media exposure. So this is the layout of exhibition layout where the startups, incubators, CROs, and other ministries and cross-country pavilions are there. This is the first floor where B2B zone, food area, the industry pavilion, and the country and other ministry, the states zone is there. So the partnership proposals are there. So in case anyone wants to partner BioIndia, we have partnership proposals. The sponsorship can be platinum, diamond, gold, silver, bronze, lanyard, orchid. And there is a platform of bio partnering in which side meetings can be arranged for one-to-one meetings, cultural evening, lunch and dinner sessions, partner country and partner states. Early bird registration is closing soon, so kindly secure a spot. Early bird registration for exhibitors for startups is closing on 20th of November. Registration have two packages, standard and a package. Standard registrations for by startups, incubator services, and package is for research institutions, universities, NGOs, and others for non-exhibiting and dependent and consultant mentors and experts and investors. Standard registration will involve one delegate pass, access to technical sessions related to exhibition arena, food, plus bio-partnering. The package registration includes multiple delegate passes, exhibition booth space, bio-partnering, access to technical sessions, and few additional features and food. Bio-partnering is a platform which offers in-person meetings in special bio-partnering booths at a meeting venue in 3 days of Global Bio India and virtual meetings post-event for 2 days. World-class Innova software, which is built on a world-class Innova software. 500 to 800 meetings likely to take place. In 2019, we had over 700 meetings which took place in the GBI Aerocity, and in 2021, over 1,000 virtual meetings took place. These are the few glimpses of 2021 and 2019 Global Bio India, in which our Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Harshvardhan inaugurated, and he's seen into the exhibition area. Other few glimpses are from 2021, in which we went online because of the travel restrictions due to COVID pandemic. So visit the website globalbioindia.org, and you can write to directly to Bharat, and we are hoping that this event will surely help the biotech community to come together to interact, partner, and collaborate to generate newer opportunities together to find solutions in healthcare, agriculture, and other allied health sectors. Should you require any further details or clarifications, please send us an email. Thank you for being a part of this journey of transforming lives, biosciences to bioeconomy. Before I take leave, I want to pause and say thank you to the VIT team, innovators, fellows, and researchers. We are tremendously grateful to every one of you for your participation in this important work, and excited to keep building on our collaboration, and looking forward to Global Bio India. And we again welcome you all to Delhi Bharat Mandapam for Global Bio India. Thank you. Open to questions.
Thank you, Dr. Harshi. Any questions with regard to the BioIndia participation? Any questions? Yeah, please.
Hi, Arshi. Hi, Arshi. Thank you for your talk. It was really wonderful to hear everything in summarize, because it has been 5 years I've been in India, and it's a great summary of what BIRAC has been doing. So my question is, you talked about preparedness in biomanufacturing, and to know what kind of biomanufacturing facilities have been, recently accepted by the government, especially in terms of training youngsters, because that's one of the key areas. And second, in terms of capabilities, so are there any things coming up? Would love to know. Thank you.
So yeah. So I'll take this question. Thank you for this bringing this question. So biomanufacturing, the Department of Biotechnology along with BioRec have been drafting a policy document on biomanufacturing. So the TRL 8 and above level supported products, services, or technologies are already under consideration for biomanufacturing. And yes, there is already the recognition of developing a quality human resources for biomanufacturing or biotech services. So the Department of Biotechnology, along with BioRec, is devising a policy how that we can train these quality human resource for biomanufacturing and for other allied biotech areas. And that will be soon available on Department of Biotechnology website and BioRec website as well.
Any other question with regard to the event? So Dr. Harshi, if there are any questions, I will take it offline and share, or will request them to share directly with you so that you can respond to them. Is that okay?
I have one.
Hello. Yeah, just a minute. Yeah.
Thank you. This very interesting data, and we see that you are really doing great, and then contributing to the advancement. I have a question. See,
Yes.
many startups, when they come to the level of, say, pilot production or little higher production, their problem is the facility. nobody can completely invest everything in their own startup, because startups are startups and they are still the children growing from crawling to standing up and starting to walk. But manufacturing level, even pilot manufacturing is already adolescent and adult. So you have made a very good policy in analytical platforms, which have to share some percentage of time for public service. Can there be something similar for manufacturing, like, for example, fermentation of 100 or 200 liters facility, and then the follow-up of that as a platform structure where the startups can go sign up for the time and then pay and then do the job? This is just a suggestion, because you have done an excellent job on the analytical platform that you have funded recently, just 3-4 years ago. Which is, you have given the policy of this much percentage time for service. So is that possible to do for manufacturing? I don't have a company, but I'm seeing all the youngsters, how difficult it is to go immediately for a big production system.
So thank you. Your suggestions well taken, ma'am. And we realize and recognize the need of this. There are several startups which have come up and is already validated their fermentation facilities and their facilities and are ready for scale up as well. So with the rapid advancement in technologies, they have been really fast-paced biomanufacturing or like validation of these technologies which have been developed. So your point well taken. We'll make it under consideration. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Harshi. So we will move on. So thank you so much once again, and inviting Professor Mugambeshwaran A. Vijayalakshmi, who is a world-renowned scientist in separation sciences and molecular interactions, is the founder director of the Center for Bioseparation Technology, CBST at VIT. Professor Vijayalakshmi has held several prestigious positions in international and national scientific and professional organizations. Please put your hands together as we invite Dr. Vijayalakshmi to speak about emerging opportunities in the life sciences sector in India. Thank you, ma'am, for joining.
Good morning, everyone. I think I would like to first thank Dr. Balachandra, TBI, and all the colleagues of TBI and BioRack for such an interesting event, which I'm sure is going to help many people to get initiated and to see the pathway, how to go with taking from research to product. So I think I'm just going to make a very short presentation. But before that, I have two disclaimers. One is I am a partially blind person, so I cannot see. I will take the help of some prompters for some of the data. And second thing is, you have to excuse me if I'm not very clear because of my status, which I am going through and I went through. Okay, so with that, as per the instruction of my colleague and friend, Dr. Balachandra, I have cut short my presentation because the initial part of the presentation that you are going to see has already been given by our colleague from BioRack. So I will just start straight from how to take it from academy to industry, and what are the difficulties of the academy that the people, even though they want to take, what are the difficulties they are facing, and what are some of the remedies that probably we can come out with. So this is going to be the thing, if once it is ready. Yes. Is ready? Yeah, it's not very dark. Yeah. So initially, I'm just giving the. I'm giving you the data that we can skip. Go ahead. So you see, biopharma industry. In the biotech industry, you have biopharma, bioagri, and all that, including bioinformatics, which is the smallest. But there's a major one. Just skip that. And not only in terms of participation, but also in revenue. Next one. Yeah, we're going to skip all that.
Just
Yeah.
if you want to share it, then we will proceed.
I'll change Zoom.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
it's being live.
Yeah. Okay,
Just-
okay. Oh, so Zoom is there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Because he said I only 15 minutes. So
No.
yeah.
We can resume.
None. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we'll skip these things quickly. Go quickly.
Yes.
I don't need mic. You can hear me. Yeah. Go ahead. Marada. Yo, Rama. Just skip them. Yeah. No, just go ahead like this. எங்க இருக்குது? Sorry.
Yes.
So, next. Yeah, see, this is something which I want to start with because in 2005, it was only $1.1 billion biopharma industry. And we are targeting in 2025 to 100 billion. Are we going to be there? And what are the challenges? The next one. So you can see that what is the situation? I think we can skip all that because the Balchandar wanted that I should go straight to the academic industry. Next one, because these data are already given by BioIndia. And now you have in
biopharmaceutical startup ecosystem in India.
Yeah, that I think they've already given. Next one.
So market size.
Market size is an important thing that what is our representation? Very small percentage because we don't have a very big place at the global level. So we have to rush, even though we are a very important country with good high population, educated population, everything. So what is lagging? So how we should go? Next one.
Academy to industry.
Yeah, this is the starting of the story that I want to share with you. Academic industry, what is the position in India? Because we are all university people here. And if you compare the three parts of the world, US, Europe, and Asia, that is India for us. So if you compare that, what is our education system? We have a very good education system. We are educating, we are taking a lot of people. But then we have difficulties in our policy making, first of all, because our system is only publication oriented. And that too in the publication, so many restrictions, so many difficulties to come out very easily. So that publication oriented, I'm not against publication. The publication should be after the potential possibilities of exploiting the data, whatever has been generated. So we have to accept that the soldiers in the battle of academic industry are the students. Because nowhere only scientists can do everything. It's not possible. Our real frontline soldiers are PhD students, and they have to be trained correctly, not only in the experimental bench work, and but in the major thinking logic. But not only that, even worse, which I'm going to give you two stories. It's not only now in India, we have to be conscious because we have to learn from the mistakes of others also. Record keeping, data keeping in whatever form, but data keeping should be with the date and even the time if it's possible. Because why it is so important, I think we are probably the weakest section in data keeping, data management, even though we are very good in all data analysis. Okay, so that's a paradox and the situation. So I'm going to share two old stories, how this data documentation has really been a problem to two big industries, not even industries, even scientists. This story dates back to the HIV diagnosis. So two laboratories, two very top laboratories, one from United States, Robert Gallo, and one from France, Luc Montagnier. Both of them, they said they claim that they have invented But then there was a big fight. When I say big, that B-I-G, very big, because even the presidents of the two countries have been into the fight. So finally, Luc Montagnier won. You know why? Not because he is the only one who invented, but because his data file was correct. Everything was clearly documented. And Robert Gallo had a problem with the documentation that was in US. So this is very, very, very important documentation. When I came to VIT, the first thing I got very angry with students is that just anything and everything, just a piece of paper. I said, no, you should have a clear documentation with good. I think this IPR people can probably insist on that into the student system in their training. So this is a very, very, very important thing. And publication. So we have the rules for publication. We are publication oriented for promotion and for PhD thesis submission. How to manage that? What is the compatibility with industrial exploitation and the publication? How much you can publish, how much you cannot publish? Is it possible? This is a question again I'm putting to the academic research office and to the IPR office. Is it possible to take industry reports if they are certified correctly to be as a publication, but in confidential? It will not be open to everybody. So this possibility we have to think to improve our pathway, to open our pathway from our academic work to industry. So whether it is possible to have confidential confidentiality possibility in some of the high striking work, because I know many of our police go through these difficulties because the policies of two departments, which is UGC and I've been fighting with the government since the time I came to India. The policies are contradictory. So I think we have to take it up much further to see whether we can open the door from academic industry, because some of our youngsters are excellent. We have to admit that they have the potential. So how to make use of that? So this publication oriented and also data preparation, and then the logic of taking the work further. That's also really a problem. So where do we lack and how to go with that? I'm thinking loud with you. One of the possibilities to have some of our industries come and participate in our work to say how to go with that, what is the thinking pattern, how to make the thinking pattern slightly adjusted so that many people can really go and find out. They will not start the industry themselves, but they can give it to the industry. So this is one thinking. I'm adding from this to the thinking. So also, what is it? I cannot read.
Difficulties of the industry in thinking of that.
Yeah, so this is something important which I want to take up. Industries are very reluctant, and particularly in India. Of course, outside with government is also helping industry, academy, research, what do you call some application, project application. But in India, that is coming very slowly. Industries are very reluctant because their way of thinking is the university is only just to understand and split the hair into 8 and 16 and 32. But then the academic think that industry just is interested in the project and product and the money. That's not true. Neither of them are true. I think there should be some kind of the education policy in focused technology, focused research. So this is, I think, also recently I congratulate VIT for having done that research professors and teaching professors for the criteria of evaluation. Otherwise, it's very difficult for young professors to see what to do, what not to do. Because if our policy is to take from university to industry, we should have different guidelines, and there should be probably a section of people, probably some of our research centers who are doing very well. I congratulate all of them because from the day I came here, I came about 20 years ago, and today I'm seeing a marvelous improvement in everything. So we should probably see how we can make use of this, make use of this potential which is existing here. And also, I think this is a request to the IPR colleagues. Many of our young colleagues should understand what is the IPR negative and positive sides. So this is something very important. Next one.
How to bridge the gap?
So now we are saying how to bridge the gap, because this gap is there. One is understanding between industry and academy, the way of thinking, because our industries are also not highly matured. They want immediate profit. That's not possible also. Okay. I cannot see anything.
Next slide. Potential for translation.
Yeah. So how should we evaluate? I have forgotten my instrument. The potential for translation. So any work, for example, now I am going to be a little bit nasty. We all do this. This is done not only here, everywhere. In fact, my steering committee, when I was doing the center, as an independent structure, made this comment. So I'm only quoting them. You cannot just screen any natural source and then do MTTSA and say, I have discovered a drug for cancer. So what is the level of understanding where you are going? Whether this drug has a potential. So you should be capable of evaluating potential yourself or be with a partner. You can do it with a partner with all confidentiality agreement, non-disclosure agreement, etc. Same thing comes to diabetes now. Everybody, every lab, I've seen so many, just extract any plant and say it is anti-diabetic. So you have to prove that, because I think I would like my industry partners here who are here to comment on this. So one important thing is to see the potential of translation when your work is done, to see where do we stand. Do we stand anywhere near the, say, even 5 years from the proof of concept, or 2 years from the proof of concept. So this is the very, very important. When you are saying, you are claiming that this is the thing I have discovered, you have to have the proof of concept, and then you should have the path, roadmap to see how much time is needed to prove this and the proof of concept. For example, when you are having a thing and you are doing with in vitro study, okay, how to publish, whether confidentiality, and again, there is another problem. And then you have to see how you are going to take it up further and how much and where, up to when. When is the industry really open to come with you and work with you? So this is very, very important. I think this kind of training and education and mindset is very, very important.
Criteria for evaluation.
Yeah, so that is what I'm already saying, criteria for evaluation. So do we have some committees or experts who can help? Like, for example, it can be people outside also, experts, and evaluate. So maybe some of the industry partners can be there. Of course, the confidentiality agreement is a must. The legal aspect should be taken into account. Then you can say the evaluation should be very objective. Where do we stand with our thing? Because it's not just patenting, it's not just taking it up. So we have to see what is the roadmap that we have. Where do we stand? That's the criteria for evaluation. Then,
Available data from
yeah. So the data, how much data we have generated, and is it ready to go for translation? That is up to the proof of concept. That's what I think. This is where I think the documentation takes its very big role. If the documentation is not correct, it's not going to go anywhere, because anybody can kill you in 1 minute. So I told you these stories. This HIV invention from between Robert Gallo and Luc Montaigne, that's just for the patent and the exploitation. But there was another smaller level, one company which was started by some of the professors in Purdue University with investment. And they made a new support for chromatography called Poros. And that was having a very good market, going on very well. But then they got a lawsuit filed against them by 2 companies. One was French, BioIndia'23, and the other one was Swedish, Pharmacia, today Cytiva. Okay, naturally it was a tough problem. You know why that Poros failed? Because the data document, it was not correct. Unfortunately, it was done by an Indian postdoc. So we have to be very strict with our PhD students to have the documents clear, maybe verify once in a way whether it's all data is correctly recorded and correctly held. If you are using a your computer, it should be dated and kept in PDF system, so it cannot be modified. So this is very, very important in terms of the training, mindset training. Yeah. And also the logic in developing the system. See, two things are there. One is research, just science, and the other one is science to product. See, this kind of thinking should be inculcated in our education system.
Validation of data.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. You have to see the potential for the exploitation of your observation and the data collection. We had a few cases here. Even if the potential is very obvious, some people don't want to go further. Why? Because probably they are guided by this publication policy. So I think this has to be, what does it need? Maybe I should ask Vaibhav to tell me, if you have some interest, you feel interesting. Sometimes I may feel interesting, which is not interesting. What is the best way? Maybe get some opinion of the industry, but without disclosing every data. So this is an art that should be taught to people without disclosing the crucial part of the data. Otherwise, you lose your property ownership. So you have to be clever enough to discuss with your industrial partners without clearly disclosing the data. This is a training that we teachers should give to our students, and we should learn and we should give it to them. And now, of course, other one is the risk taking. So if you are going to contact the industry, what is the risk in that? What is going to be the competition, or whether they are going to lose their money or get into problems? So that's a very important thing to calculate. And last but not least, commercial potential. This is a very important thing. Your discovery or your finding, if this is going to be translated into a product, what is the commercial potential? What is the situation? What is the existing product? So we had that problem very recently when I was trying to negotiate with the company. He said, oh, we have this product from this pharma company. We have to do the comparison within a very short time and give them. So I think this is very, very important. It's not an easy thing, because that is why I said research professors and teaching professors, because it's not very easy. There should be some kind of a crosstalk between them to do this kind of training with partly industrial mindset with good science. So this is what we call focused research or targeted research, as I say. I don't like the word applied research and basic research. That's wrong concept. You should have very good science with focus and the target. Next one.
Identification of academic discoveries.
Sorry? Yeah.
Identification of academic discoveries.
Identification.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you identify the academic thing?
Yeah.
I cannot read it. Yeah.
Literature survey.
Yeah. So how do you know that there is something that's interesting? And there are two things. One is the partner who is our industrial advisor within the academic structure can do, but also the people who are going to use it. I will tell you what was the structure that we were trying. The literature survey, what is available, what is new in your stuff, and what is the interesting thing. So you should be evaluating it objectively. And then
Workshop or brainstorm. Workshop and brainstorm.
yeah. So you can see, for example, the person who has invented something may not be conscious at all. But then they may have published. That's okay, because we had this from Dr. Chidambaram when he was explaining, when he was advising. So literature survey is also going to open your eyes, a thorough literature survey of your target topic. And then also workshop. Of course, this is, I'm probably old generation, excuse me for that, because all these virtual workshop, you only see the data, not the person. But if you are seeing the person, you are getting much more than what is the data. This is my case. In fact, when some of my patents came out of just in a meeting where the guy came with something, I said, why not use it this way and then get it? So this is the very big advantage of the in-person workshop, where you are exchanging the thinking and you get inspired from that and you get your own thing advancing. And then also networking. That's a very important thing. Not later than 2 weeks ago, because of networking, we are going to start two important industry validator or industry, what you should say, the product from industry that we have to show them that this is good. This is what we had done a few years ago with Paul Industries, just to show that their product is good by doing a clear research. Or this is research with contract, you get the money. So you have to show that this product is a good one. So this way, I think networking is a very, very important thing. Unfortunately, right now it is better, much better. But a few years ago, it was horrible. Indians had a very big difficulty to go ahead and talk to people. You are as good or as bad as anybody else, you are good. Nobody should have the complex that, oh, I don't know this and that. No, we all know we have very good potential. Our youngsters are proving by getting awards. Even last week, I think this Dr. Shiva's group got a big award. Congratulations. So I think we should feel confident and work for that confidence, saying that, yes, I can give you. I can show you. So this is very, very important in your networking capacity. And that
Patent literature survey.
uh,
Patent literature survey.
yes. One more thing, when you have a thing, you should be very much aware of what is available in the field. Where do you stand with reference to the what is available? By a complete patent literature survey, where you are going to focus on innovation or discovery or improvement even. If your thing is slightly better, then you calculate the in terms of potential dollars. So you are going to say that my thing can be interesting to the industry, so I can open and go and discuss with them. So with that, I want to give you a case study of my own experience here, which we started with BioIndia', with the help of BioIndia', in 17. So kept of combining the things which were there and with our own academic partners' work. This is for diagnosis, follow-up and monitoring the malaria. You know that malaria has two major types. One is the falciparum, which is a very dangerous one because it affects the brain, and you have to detect it immediately and give the right treatment. If you are wrong in your treatment, you are gone and the patient is going to go through difficulties. Unfortunately, my first student's son is affected and he's still like that, mentally off. Okay. So this is and the Vivax is a chronic one, which makes your life less efficient and difficult. So how to distinguish? Are there markers? Are they available? And before that also you have general markers to see the type of fever which is going to be, it can be even dengue, but you have different data, different levels of the same marker for dengue and malaria. So what you can do is take those markers. One is serum amyloid. Next one. Yeah, and then the other one is the hemoglobin, which is affected by any malaria. And then you have also the specific markers, biomarkers for falciparum, that is brain malaria, which is HRP2, histidine-rich protein 2. Our very big scientist of India was also working on that. All of you know probably, G. Padmanabhan. So, and then, we can say that VIT can be very proud because in VIT, with the Professor Krishnan and Jay Prakash, we have developed a very highly sensitive marker by doing some kind of a structure-based reduction and then doing the antibody, that is histidine-rich protein 2, which is very specific and picomole sensitive. So that antibody, and Vivax is a big challenge. Even though that malaria is a chronic one, the markers for Vivax has been studied by different institutes like IIT and ICGB, etc. But then isoforms. So you have to see which isoform is important. So that is what the tryptophan-rich protein antigen. So these are the markers. So if you can raise antibodies to them, so we can probably have a system of diagnosis, monitoring, not only diagnosis, but also monitoring. So this was the project we started with one industry. I mean, I tell you what is the basic of that industry. I will tell you come in the next slides. So the idea is to next one, please. Next one. Yeah. So we using the expertise of microfluidics of one of our colleagues and using the expertise of the immunotechnology and molecular biology of Professor Krishnan and Professor Jai Prakash, and also it's using the expertise of Dr. Sanjeeva Srivastava, who has already worked on the proteomics of the vivax. So we use this combination of expertise to develop this system on a continuous monitoring. First, the serum AA, amyloid A, and then the marker for falciparum and the marker for vivax and also hemoglobin. So it's a continuous microfluidic system like you see here, where the antibodies to each one of them is immobilized by technology, and then you can follow the serum. So how, next one? But you need money to do all that.
Government initiatives.
Yeah, we need money to all that. So thanks to one of the very important, what you say, the support that we had from Dr. Renu Swarup, who was the MD of BioIndia those days. So we thought, we were only two people in India who did that. One is Taslim and I'm the second one. Early Translation Accelerator. What is that? The early translation accelerator is you just scout for the ideas and some initial data which has a very big potential. It may not be already, it can be patented, it may not be even patented. If the idea and if the data is very interesting and showing big potential, you scout for them and you take that partner, and you BioIndia will support you, and you take an industrial partner with you, negotiate. The industry is going to give one declaration of interest with a very minimum money of 5 lakhs or 3 lakhs, not more than that. And then you develop it up to proof of concept within a very short time. So this early translation accelerator has a concept of taking the academic research into the development of the product, towards the development of the product by showing the proof of concept and getting the agreement with the industry that they will license it and they will take it further to the market. So this is a very interesting initiative. Maybe many of us should go through such things. The startup is one initiative, but the startup is one man's less risky but more interesting way of doing, so that you can have partners to do the work together, who have the facility, the equipments, everything. For example, we had access to IT, we had access to VIT. So this is one of the concepts which was very much appreciated. So probably this I did not do it here. I was doing it in IIT BioIncubator. So that is the thing. The BioIncubator structure should be eco-friendly and should be promoting. Next one.
Road ahead.
Huh?
Road ahead. Road ahead.
Road ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
India constitutes around 8% of total generic market outsourcing.
Yeah. Okay. So where do we stand? What is the road ahead of us? We are probably the number one in the generic market and also in contract research, because India has done very well. And this is a report I got from one of my former students who was the business watch of Sanofi. And he came to India and he said, these contract research people, he just gave me the list of people saying that they are excellent. So that means we have the facility in India, but we have to work towards that, how to go and how to improve and how to get it benefited to our country and to the global market. Then,
Yeah. So opportunity in focused R&D and knowledge-based
so
innovations.
now I think I'm almost coming to the end of my thing. We at VIT, VIT with TBI, which is really helping a lot, and TBI and CBSE started about the same time. So we are kind of twins born at the same time. So with the help of that and with all our structures, we should probably have this focus. So how much percentage of my research work is towards industry. This can be very clearly defined within yourself, saying that I want to have this target for myself, and how much, and even the students can have that. But PhD students are the full-time scientists. If the patients were not successful, I'm not here with you today. I owe everything to my students, about 60 of them. So this is something very important. We have to realize that we have a very good opening and very big, beautiful road ahead of us in terms of taking from university, academy to industry, in which, of course, we have to have these government policies little bit adjusted.
Last point, no?
Yeah.
So field of study is the area of biomarkers and the companion diagnostics.
Yeah. So I think I don't completely agree, even though I have prepared it some time ago. Where do we stand in terms of possibilities of biopharma industry? Well, we had a discussion with Vaibhav about biosimilar. Biosimilar, they say it's cheaper. I'm not sure it is only comparing the American market. Because in the biosimilar, there are very strict regulations. They may not be crucial for the effect, biological effect. So these are things to be debated by the policymakers, not by us. So, but at the same time, what we should develop is we should have a focus, and also our capacity today in India, and major target, of course, monoclonal antibodies. So how much technology is needed for monoclonal antibodies, therapeutic and diagnostic, mainly therapeutic. So we need to have the expression and the purification. What is the level of chromatography knowledge here? I don't know. I want you to evaluate yourselves, whoever is in the biopharma or bio related fields. So these are the challenges, at the same time opportunities, because we have a lot of big opportunities, but I have a feeling probably we are not orientating them in the right way to get the best out of our own efforts, that everybody is hogging 8 hours, 10 hours per day, but you should get out of that what is the target, and you should know your target very clearly. Next one.
Translational accelerator.
Huh?
Early translational
Yeah.
accelerator.
This is what I already explained, the early translation accelerator. That's all I think.
That's all, ma'am.
That's all. I think, I don't know whether I was able to give you any message. I will be very happy to take some of the questions so that I can feel that I was clear or I was not clear. Please. Comments, not only questions. You can just say, no, I don't agree. Nobody? Oh God. What does it mean? Huh? Balachandar, can you comment? What does it mean if nobody is saying anything? Because I was tough sometimes, very tough.
No, it was a interesting talk that you have covered a wide spectrum of aspects, starting from maintaining laboratory records to finally making the work relevant to the society. I think it's quite a heavy message. Probably people are internalizing the thoughts which you have kindled. So my one question is see, we have been investing heavily on the research per se, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of manpower, and what are the impediments you think currently holding us back in launching commercially viable products and services to the society?
Yeah, very crucial, important question. More than one thing. One is, we have sponsored research, we have funding, we have a lot of very good students. But the students are not accompanied with the logic of thinking. This logic of thinking, how to do good science with a focus. So this kind of thinking is the most important thing to be imparted to the student. One. Second, other problem which of course I cannot criticize even the student or the teacher, because the risk taken. If we had our own student who started a company, it was going well, but then he thought that it is going to just fetch money like for Infosys. That's not the case. Maybe Vaibhav will tell us his experience, sometimes how tough it is to go through this kind of a thing. So we should mentally prepare them. But I was really also surprised or flabbergasted by 2 or 3 students. I don't remember which occasion we had a meeting, and 2 of them, they were BTech or MTech students, I don't know. Excellent. Their industry thinking was probably as good as any of these big bosses that we know in the world. So we have to encourage them, because I don't remember the name of those. Do you remember, Vaibhav? It was the meeting that we had with your friend from Bangalore. Yeah, very good students. So we have the possibility. We do have our what you say, the potential. So how to identify, how to help? In fact, one person, I don't want to mention the name, somebody who was in very, very important in India, is launching, trying to get funding, donation funding, to help students having bright ideas. He is trying to see if there is a student who has a very bright idea which he wants to take to little bit further. Within a short, say, he is giving some small money for taking it for a few months and see the road, whether it is open or closed. So this kind of initiative can be very good. I'm talking to VIT in general in this, because we do have youngsters which are excellent. So we have to take them, we have to prepare them. We have to prepare them for good communication with confidential data not disclosed. This is a very important training, how to tell them, how to talk, but without giving the essential. This question was asked to me in France by my student, how to tell them how to do it. And that is one. And also you should not be very shy. Go ahead and talk to people and find out where is the possibility. There may be a door opening anywhere that you think like that. So you should be more open and not just stick to your laptop and your data thing and think beyond, and see what are the crucial things that in your you have a project, you have a work. So think of the crucial points. You should probably train them to think of those important crucial points by themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to have some comment from Vaibhav.
I think that's
See, my focus was mainly how to get them ready for, yeah.
right. I think you have talked about two things, which is what I call passion and so can we take this science into technology and get it to the market? And do we know the market have a need for this? So all those questions, I think that's I'm gonna be talking about now. So I'll answer many of these things that we just discussed in a few minutes also. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I think it was an excellent session, thought-provoking. And so despite your personal commitments today, you made it possible. And thank you very much. Let us give a big round of applause.
Thank you.
Can you take it offline, because we are running short of time?
No, just quickly, because I'll be leaving. But
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, quickly.
Quickly. They have to, I cannot hear.
Come here. Come to the front.
No, I'm not going on meeting place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the scope of synthetic biology companies in India?
If you have something, see, you should not look at it as a field per se. But in synthetic biology, what is that you are doing? What is the system that you are making, which is going to revolutionize? For example, there is one lady, probably you know her if you are into synthetic biology. She has made the prokaryote bacteria to make glycosylated proteins, targeted glycosylation. That's something very great in synthetic biology. But I don't know what is the system that you are addressing in synthetic biology. It is not the field per se. I will not take any field per se, but you should say what is the outcome. What is the thing that can go to market there?
The idea is about making a nitrogenous fixing bacteria in other
Cannot hear.
plants.
Can you repeat, Krishna?
Nitrogen fixing bacteria
Mm.
to be transferred to other plants.
To
Yeah.
other.
Other plants.
So what? So okay. Now it's a very interesting question that you have asked. First, you have to do what is the status of that in terms of bench work already. I don't even say research, but bench work. And second is calculate. Is the benefit going to be much bigger or not? Because already naturally existing nitrogen fixing bacteria, how expensive it is and what is the protection level that you can increase by your system. See, it is simply mathematics, dollar mathematics. Because you have to see whether my thing is going to improve anything, either the quality or the quantity or the way of doing in working cost. So that is the first thing, because see, unfortunately, this kind of focused research is product and profit oriented. So you have to have this thinking already, whether it's going to help something or not. I don't know, you got it? You got the answer or not? No, you got the answer or not?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
I think you can meet me because in one of the slides I am also going to talk about that IGEN. So are you BTech students or biotech? Okay, we should meet. You can meet me in Hexagon building.
See, if you are thinking, you should sit down and calculate. Maybe it's very interesting. You never know. It may be excellent. So you have to sit down and do these parameters, and that's all.
Because my question is, there is no ethical clearance for that synthetic biology companies in India, but in some other countries they are allowing to do it. No, we do have.
We will discuss in detail because this is not more of a-
There are.
I think we shall discuss and maybe you can meet me or meet Professor Krishna.
Yeah, no, we can meet together, no problem.
That is
Yeah,
where we can-
yeah. Then I'll also let you know, because IMTech is very much into this field. Yeah.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Ma'am, very, very beneficial for all of us. With pride, we would like to invite Dr. Vaibhav Bhatia, founder and CEO, Lamarck Biotech, a trained biochemist and molecular biologist. He has the experience in protein folding, protein chemistry, gene transfer technologies, and DNA repair. Please get on stage for us and share your experience on opportunities and key challenges in the areas of biopharma and bioindustrial sectors. Request Vaibhav to just keep this very short for us.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, everybody, and really a pleasure being here, and bigger pleasure to be talking after Dr. Vijayalakshmi. You know, she has been a sea, and what we consider ourselves is like a droplet. So, you know, she has actually talked about most of the things before BioIndia people have talked about. So, and we have gone into a lot of details. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk from 30,000 feet, and we'll try to be as unfocused as possible. I'll try to say, let's talk movies, let's talk stuff, so that we all are, alive here. And one of the things that you will see is, and I'll start with the movie. In fact, who knows RRR, the movie? Everybody has watched, right? Now we are talking about that movie today, RRR. Okay, I'll tell you why. But there is two important parts. When you watch a movie, you like to sit on the last bench, आराम से पूरा screen दिखाई देता है जैसे. But when you are making a movie, which is the director of the movie, you have to be as close as possible to your actor. So if you people want to make entrepreneur tomorrow, that's the job of a director. Okay, and you have to be on the front desk. You should be pushing your professors away before they come in. You should be sitting there. You say, it's more important for me. So it's a good idea. Stop sitting on the last benches if you really want to make a difference tomorrow. So coming to the next point, what is RRR here? So there are a lot of opportunities, and Dr. Vijayalakshmi has already talked about opportunities in life sciences. And I don't know much about anything, but biopharma I can talk about today. So biopharma industry, you just saw, there have been like 1 billion people who have been given COVID vaccines, which were made in India.
It's not a small feat. And you're talking about a country who was not able to make a good quality polio vaccine a few decades back. Okay, there were a lot of questions around that, and we had a lot of troubles. Now, what exactly happened? What exactly was happening in last 20 years is we were able to create change few nuts and bolts of the system, which we call ecosystem, and we were able to do something which was considered impossible. And these are the questions that we are going to ask today. And the question to all of you is, can you ask those questions and can you answer them? So I'm not here to give you any answers today. Okay, I'm going to give you questions, and the questions are in terms of challenges, because there are opportunities. If somebody can make a vaccine and it could be given to 1 billion people, more than 100 countries around the world, we can do it. But only those people who can do it are the ones who can ask the right questions. So what are the questions? What are the challenges? Now, the first challenge, and I generally don't take papers, but to be precise, I have kept a paper with me just to have some small points. And don't forget the RRR movie. We are going to talk about it. Okay. So what is the first challenge? The first challenge is, if you want to make an application or, some kind of a juice, apple juice, and you want to pack and sell it, it's simple. You can see the product. But in case of biopharma, you may imagine a product. It may take 20 years before somebody could actually touch it or see it. Okay, that's the biggest trouble. And biopharma is second step of pharma. Why? Because it's complex. You are bringing different types of people together. You may be a scientist, you have done BTech, you are very good at chemistry, but you need a biologist there. You need a person who understands business, somebody who knows market research. You go deeper, somebody has to be engineer who understands engineering, process development, risk analysis, hundreds of things. So you are getting complex, and that's the biggest challenge. And can you ask right questions for your product? Somebody just mentioned about some nitrogen fixing bacteria. It's no big deal. You can think about any idea, but ideas are a commodity. The question is, can you ask questions why this would fail? And can you go deeper into that idea? And that's where the challenge comes. The second thing, if you get me, if you give me the chance here, is leadership. We are missing leadership here. We used to have a leader, say, think about a lion group or a fox group. There could be one leader. What's the job? Hunt, protect themselves. What's the job here? You're looking for R&D. You need a leader who can really do the R&D part for you. You're looking for somebody who can go out and talk to companies and understand the market need. You're talking about manufacturing. You're talking about capability building, human resource, keeping people motivated. Everything is different. You need a horizontal leadership where there are leaders coming from each of them and talking to each other. And that's the biggest challenge of making a biopharmaceutical product. Okay. And the third thing, which I think everybody knows, pocket money. Okay. Fundraising. Nobody's going to give you a fund because I want to make something and I know 20 years after somebody will be using it. Why? Because that guy who is putting the money may be dead by that time. So why should he put, how much it costs to make a drug? Around 100 million. That's the number. But nothing less than 30 million can do ever. So you're talking about 30 million US dollars to 100 million US dollars, and generally sometimes even 200, 300. Why would somebody give you that money? So this is the third challenge. And you have to ask questions to answer them. And this is where the answer comes from the RRR movie. What are the three things that you try to focus on? You can go to business schools, you can go to R&D centers, learn about them, but there are three things that you have to learn. Three things are, you have to focus on relationship building. You have to build relationships. That's the first R. The second R is you have to focus on revenue. Okay, there are no not-for-profit companies around. You don't make a drug because you want to make a drug. You want to make a drug because you can run a company and make more drugs, reduce the cost of healthcare. So you have to focus on the bigger picture. And only those drugs make revenue who can reduce the cost, who can increase accessibility or give an impact. Okay, that impact has to be like in 1 billion people. Always think about how can I impact 1 billion people? So that is the second R, focus on revenue. And the third, which I think people talked about, is results. What are your results? Okay, what are you making today? What is the first thing? Okay, you are talking about a drug which can treat cancer, but that's not your result for today. You talk about, okay, I'll create a minimum valid product, which is I can make small amount of drug which could treat some cells in a Petri plate. That's also not the result that you're going to get today. Your result is possibly today's documentation. I think Dr. Vijay Lakshmi talked about that. Today, you did an experiment to see how pure that drug that you have made is, for example, HPLC profile. So you have to focus on those results. Every day is drug development. You miss one piece in the chain, the whole chain is broken. You may have all the pieces together. One chain was weak, one part was weak. Nobody's coming up. There is no ladder. Okay. So these are the three things. Now, if I have 5 more minutes, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give some of the suggestions. These are not other answers. And the answers for you are going to be coming from your own head. Okay. And they will happen if you move forward. I hope by the time I finish, some people have moved forward. Okay. Come and take those chairs in front of you. That tells how passionate you are. Okay. Did you see Dr. Vijay Lakshmi? She cannot see from both her eyes. It's very difficult for her. She spent 45 minutes here showing you one thing. Passion. That's very, very crucial. If you don't have passion, you will never be able to develop a process and there's no product ever. So show that passion. Okay. In the meantime, I'll give you some suggestions. So what are the suggestions? Let's go from the last one. How do you raise a fund? You need 100 million, but nobody's going to give you 100 million. So what do? Why this is the biggest opportunity in the world today? For 2 reasons. One, we have in India BioRec. Okay, you saw the graph going up till late stage of development. TRL 8, she mentioned, you can get manufacturing facilities supported by BioRec. So you can get funds as grants. You can control the company. You can find people. You can give the company to those people who are really contributing, not to the money graspers, not to the opportunists. You're talking about people who are contributing. So BioRec gives you that opportunity. And second, we are not building startups. We are building global startups. Why it's a global startup? Because you don't make medicine for one country. Have you ever seen somebody making insulin for India? No. You make insulin, you make vaccine for the globe. Okay. And that's where it comes that the whole ecosystem is connected. Everybody wants the answer. So fundraising has been, helped by these 2 things. First, you get a lot of these grant agencies. Europe has that. America has that. You can go anywhere and ask for help. Just that you have to validate the market there also. And second, you have, a product market, which you're talking in terms of taking the ships and transporting it to everywhere tomorrow. Okay. So that's very, very thing. Now, second thing is you have to collaborate like academia. Go to people who can reduce the cost for you. Okay. But you have to follow your process. I think somebody mentioned today why there are a lot of differences between industry and academia, but it happens because both the people are following a very different process. But what are the commonalities between the two? You have to figure it out. And that's where, again, you have to show your passion, figure out your own challenges and answer them. How can you get it done at a lower cost, especially in the initial stage, what we call minimum valid product? Okay. The validation has to be done at a very low cost. So you do that in a stepwise manner. You can go online and learn about these things. The second part is, I would say, relationship building is all about making a culture. Okay, you have to find people who are not happy with doing just enough. Okay, they are the people you want to stay away from. That's it. Okay, that's one thing you have to figure it out. Who is the person who is saying just enough is good? Cut it out. That's where you know he is never going to make a startup because he's happy with just enough. And this is the place you make a culture in your lab, in your industry, in your company, whatever you call, where people are ready to go 2 steps ahead. And you have to inspire them to do that. If you want to make that bacteria, you have to find 5 other people who are ready to give an extra thought on that, ready to give an extra hour on that. I was lucky I found 2 extra co-founders who were working 12 hours a day, but because of my idea, they are now working 14. For me, they work 2 only extra, but that 2 extra are very troubling. Okay. One person doesn't get time to meet his daughter. The other person has no time to go to his swimming pool. He bought a house after so what? Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're putting money, they're putting time. So these are the people who want to go extra. There you have to find culture in the sense you have to make culture, you have to make relationships with investors. You can't just go and ask money from a stranger, right? When you were a kid, you ask money from your dad and mom because you know tomorrow they are not going to come and ask your kidney out. Okay. If necessary, they will give you. That's the kind of people you want money from, right? So you need to go out and make relationships so that when you need money, those are the people who invest in you because they believe in you. Okay. So the culture, the relationship building is very important here. And market validation is the last part. What is pre-revenue for a IT company is maybe 6 months or a year because the product is ready. In your case, it could be 15 years. Okay. So you are a pre-revenue company for 10, 15 years. What are you doing? By the time you will make the product is not required maybe. Okay. So how do you do that? You do something called pre-sales, validations. You go to companies, you ask for letter of intents. Okay. You look at things like called affordable loss. They can give you something that shows their confidence in you because they have been in the industry for so long. And this is the part that you have to do. If you want to make something, go out in the industry, go out outside, talk to people if they need it, and everybody will say yes. Unless and until it costs, everybody will say yes. Everybody's here to take the free, but it's not about that. Ask for something in return. If they put even a penny, that makes some value to you. Okay. So I will end it here, and I don't want to go too deep. And Sudha ma'am has said me that try to keep it short, but I'll say one thing, and it's very, very important. Okay. We in biotech, unlike other fields, we fail more number of times and for more number of years. Okay. You may be failing only for next 5 years, 6 years, and even the product development starts, you fail more or less, and the cost is very high. So it's all about embracing those failures and carrying on. Okay. That's the trick. So the passion is again the trick. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm happy to take any questions.
Any one quick question to Dr. Vaibhav?
I think nobody has moved forward, so it will take some more push. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vaibhav. Pleasure hearing from you. Next, we would like to invite on stage Dr. Krishnan, Director, Center for Bioseparation Technologies. Dr. Krishnan's area of research has been on metabolic disorders, vascular biology, and cancer biology. He will briefly touch upon how industrial applied research can transition to healthcare products, a lab to market approach.
Okay, good morning. I welcome you all. After, yeah, can you make it? All right. Okay, yeah, thank you. After hearing VG and Vaibhav, it was like batting after Virat Kohli and Hitman Rohit Sharma. So very pointed, and so this, I thought, can you turn on these slides? Because so we are coming back from Diwali. So many of you know these iconic images. Kubera, the venture capitalist of our mythology. Kurmatreya, the person who is very gratified, very prosperous. So as India, I'm more interested in not only in lab science, but also how societies develop themselves over years and what are the trends that we see. Okay. So India got independence, and then, it was very poverty ridden. Now we are becoming more and more prosperous, but also the prosperity also, if poverty had problems, prosperity also brings a lot of problems. We'll try to learn more about that. So, this couple of slides I show in many of my talks. Okay, so human population got exploded whenever there is a breakthrough in technologies, especially in food production or any breakthroughs. Okay, that's what we are witnessing. If 50 years ago, we were less than 300 or 400 million people. Now already we are the most populous country in the world. And we are having a different kinds of waves of societies, especially we are having a predominantly agrarian society. And of course, we have industries which are, light industries of first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, of course, digital economy, AI, etc., etc. And we are also moving towards Society 5. What is the Society 5? I'll just come to you. So two things are happening. One is technologies, breeding new technologies, creating wealth, and of course, prosperity. The other thing is that poverty, a country, you see, the poverty is still existing. and it causes civil disturbance, unrest, and diseases. Tropical disease, what we call. So I'll just skip this slide. If you look at the slide, fifth wave societies are society 5. We are interested in nutrition. Of course, we are good in production. We are supplying a lot of food materials to world of vaccine as well. Okay, so nutrition, good quality nutrition, and of course, because we are becoming prosperous, we are also having a sedentary lifestyle. We are encountering a lot of lifestyle diseases, and of course, because of this hunt for prosperity, also causing a lot of environmental pollution, waste, vegetation is destroyed, and of course, we saw the infections due to COVID virus. And there are other number of infectious diseases we are encountering, antimicrobial resistance, cancers. Of course, we all want to live long, okay, as much as possible. If possible, we don't want to die as well, okay. So aging and longevity, the population is increasing, but also aged people. But it's all having issues. I'll just focus on transition of poverty to prosperity and its trouble. So we were a country poverty-ridden, now we are becoming prosperous. Here comes diabetes, obesity, hypertension, and cardiovascular diseases. So how do we know this? Because many of our people, previous generations, those who got educated, they moved to Western countries and they started to eat the very nutritious, highly energy-rich food. So these are a couple of studies I show here. So if we just look into the different populations as ethnic groups, and then if you look at the data, the Asian Indians are American natives are highly vulnerable for all these diseases. This is a study which is done in US. It was shown in 1960s as well. And another study in UK, that a number of our own people are living there, Bangladeshis, Pakistanis, Indians. And if you look at the levels of diabetes, so we are highly vulnerable. Okay, why is that? We'll just try to learn a little more on that, and then I'll come to what exactly about the translation. Okay, so I come with another case study. It just shook the world. I came across this paper in 2003, published by a single author, Jared Diamond, an iconic figure, and he's a geneticist, geologist, and also a person who travels across the world and studies the population. Okay, Nauru. How many of you know an island called Nauru? Anybody? Nobody. It's a very tiny island. Okay. So if you look at the diabetes incidence in these countries, various countries, many of them, if you look at here, so for instance, Nauru, the 41% of the population is diabetic. Okay. So US Pima Indians, who are Indians, native Indians, who are highly susceptible, 50% of the population, if you just take it as ethnic group, they're highly susceptible. Okay, type 2 diabetes. Wherever people were living in subsistence, when they're exposed to high-rich food, high-energy food, they're immediately becoming diabetic. This is what we are experiencing in our country itself. So this Nauru is a country, it's a very tiny island. It's around 21 square kilometers. It could be as big as Vellore. It has a population of 25,000 people. Predominantly, they were agrarian. They were cultivating sugarcane, rice, etc. And why this country got attention? Okay, this is a country which is located on the northeast of Australia in the equator, very tiny country. And, so many Europeans, as they invaded, they were also looking for wealth that can take it back to their country. And of course, they were exploring soils, what they can get. Okay, so Germans went and found out that this particular island has rich in phosphates. The soil was rich in phosphates, and so phosphates. So they wanted to harvest this phosphate because intensive agriculture needs phosphate. So many Western countries, as soon as they came to know this is the small island, what is connection between Nauru and diabetes? I'll come to that. So this Nauru Island was rich in phosphate, also houses number of birds, migratory birds. Okay, as we know, from South Pole to North Pole or North Pole to South Pole, birds keep migrating throughout the year. Okay, they come and rest, and then they feed on materials, whatever they can get, and they fly over. In course of time, thousands of years, they were shitting, and this because of the microbial enrichment in the soil, they became phosphate rich, and it could be readily used for agriculture. Okay, so these were the people in 1950s and 60s. These are traditional native Nauru people, and of course these are the birds. Okay, now this is the status of the soil. So Western companies, they came, they mined the soil, and they took phosphates. Even today it is happening, and inch by inch they are just using it. Okay, so these farmers who were actually cultivating the soil, but no longer able to cultivate it because they leased out the soil, because they leased out their lands for 100 years to these companies, and instead they're getting royalty. Now, whatever the physical work they were doing, no more they are doing that. And in addition to that, they had access to all these energy-rich food. The Western country food, which were never seen before, it entered into the houses, and they started eating this. Okay, as a result of this is the situation. Okay, so same thing is happening in our country too. Why? I'll just show. Because of lack of time, I won't talk much. You know that British colonized, and if you want to see Dr. Taru's speech, please watch it. Very passionate speech. He gave it in Oxford and a number of places. He says that when British left, one of the, when British came into our country, it was world's richest country, 27% GDP. When they left, it was just less than 2% GDP. 90% of the population was poverty-stricken. Okay, so now, because of various successive governments, we have 18.5% poverty still, which accounts for a huge population. 20% of the population still lives, 260 million people live under poverty condition. Okay. Also, when the people became slightly prosperous, and of course our diet habits changed, so 23% of the population in our country, they are diabetic. Okay, and we become diabetic capital of the world. Okay, as much as 40% of the population in the world, they are susceptible for type 2 diabetes. Okay, so one reason why, because insulin resistance. So I will not get into the mechanisms, it's not the purpose here. And it takes a couple of generations or 3 generations to get rid of this insulin resistance. Okay, so our own research, because India is a country of natural resources, a lot of vegetation, medicinal plants, etc. So one of Viji's students, who is a faculty in our center, she started to work with Viji in 2005 when she did the PhD. She worked on this aloe vera plant. We call this as a wonderful plant. And of course, a number of PhD students worked on it. We published a number of papers. We showed that aloe vera extract, standardized aloe vera extract, was able to reduce plasma fasting glucose levels, reduced triglyceride levels. It restored insulin. It reduced rapid intestinal proliferation, decreased liver inflammation, improved glycogen storage, improved lean body mass, reduced fat. Importantly, we showed that it is able to regenerate pancreatic islet cells, which were dying in animal models. Okay, so both qualitatively and quantitatively. And of course, as Vijay said, Vaibhav said about the purification, etc. So peptide and polypeptide refractions, we could show that they're able to regenerate pancreatic islet cells. It improves glycogen storage. We identified a couple of molecules, they're drug targets. It so happened that when we showed these data, some of the data, preliminary data, the TIFAC, which was part of DST, was ready to fund this project. We got this grant in 2011. And we set up a collaboration with an industry, simple standardization of aloe vera extract, which has to be done very meticulously. Inch by inch, we have to move, and every documentation had to be provided. So if we just see the series of steps here, so the aloe vera, we need to get it from a good source, okay? The age of plant is important, how much, which agroclimatic conditions, etc. Not every extract is able to reproduce that. We have to make gel extraction, which is labor intensive. Every step, everything is paisa, rupees. Okay? Ethanol, which is needed for extraction, has to be reused, because now Government of India is asking wherever possible, recycle it. You cannot dump it. We have to show, we had asked people who have BioIndia grant, you need to fill hundreds of forms in order to get the money, whatever we want to do. A number of regulatory agencies are involved in that. Environmental protection is very important. Okay. So the ethanol that we use in the lab, we tend to throw it away. But here in an industry, we are using thousands of liters for producing these extracts. Okay. So we have to make batches and batches and show there is very minimal variation. And we need to establish efficacy, safety, toxicity, all these studies in animal models. Finally, human clinical trials, we go by AYUSH guidelines, not on regular human clinical trials. And of course, finally, commercialization. It has to be cost effective in every step of the production. That's what VITTBI was insisting, that every rupee that is invested, people count. The venture capitalist would like to make, if he invests 1 rupee money, he would like to make 100 rupees profit, okay, or he or she. So that's how the world works. And of course, we were successful in making a huge extraction, okay. So what we standardized in the lab, it was, we scaled it up to 5 liters. First, from 2 liters to 5 liters, we showed the proof of concept. Once we show at 5 liter scale, TIFAC wanted us to show it 100 liter scale. So we made an extract and showed it in 100 liter scale, and finally 200 liter scale with the industry. Okay, our student Srikar Kandakuri, he made all these efforts by himself. And then we just, we were very successful and we produced the extract. I was telling you, up to this stage, we were very successful, extraordinary data, TIFAC and the committees from CMC Vellore and other important agencies, they evaluated us and they really wonderstruck. How, this is the kind of data we would like to see on every extract that we can get it, okay? So we gave AYUSH guidelines, a clinical trial to company, and that's where we just had a roadblock. After that, it never took off. We are still waiting for, we have been trying to negotiate with companies to come up, and collaborate with us. We'll be happy to help them in production, etc. But, it's been difficult to find now, okay? So we did all this, and what it takes, a simple analogy I would like to give. Risk of swimming in a pool or pond, or lake or river or ocean, okay? If you think about it, swimming pool, VIT has labs. It is like training you to swim in a laboratory, okay? In a pool, a defined water, depth, we know everything, clean water, it's all taken care. Okay, there are ups and downs here and there, I do agree. The moment we put you in the lake to swim, then it's like a pilot scale. We don't know which lake, what kind of water, what kind of aquatic species are there. We do not know. And if you are successful, we put you in a river or sea to swim. So this is how the risks are involved. The moment you see a river flowing, the currents, the depth, and the kind of water and the kind of crocodiles or alligators or whatever, the risk here, it's even higher, the tidal waves. And when it will take away whatever we have invested. So these are the risks. I just made a simple analogy and showed it to you. Okay. So I already said whatever is needed. And of course, BioIndia is already told whatever is needed. I don't want to skip on this. Finally, if you want our nation to succeed, the power in terms of natural wealth, we are gifted, reasonably well gifted compared to countries like Japan, which is without much of natural wealth, they have been highly successful. Or Korea is another country, or military force like US or Soviet Union, it can be there. But unless we have this knowledge, okay, knowledge, it translates into technology, skills, human resource development, and wealth, we are going to stay wherever we are. Okay, so if we really say that we were once upon a time a knowledge-based economy or a highly rich country with 27% GDP, now we are hovering around 3 or 3.5%. If you have to increase every percent, it's a lot of efforts. You know how it is, what is the journey the country has taken through history books. This is the country which is looking forward to do something important and show. And I'm sure as many of our leaders are saying, we are demographically very in good state, and that's an advantage we have. And of course we have knowledge power, that the time has come for making this kind of wealth which can take care of this, which can take care of this. With this, I thank Dr. Balachandran for giving me an opportunity, and thanks for your listening. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Dr. Amitabh Mukherjee, Director, Center for Nanotechnology, speak on protecting intellectual property and ways to monetize. Dr. Amitabh's areas of interest include nanotechnology, water treatment, nanobiomaterials, clean synthesis of materials. He's also involved in managing IP assets of institutions. Thank you so much for coming.
We'll start with this one. Next, previous one. Yeah. Yeah, fine. I'll continue. Control A you can put. Yeah. No, you need to copy. You can put as you manage. Very good morning to all of you. I think we are just touching afternoon. It's fine now. Yes. Fine. Yes. Okay. Or else this should be fine. This should be fine. I think. Control L doesn't work. Okay, I just wanted to tell you maybe the recent slides I shared to all students and faculty about the patent status in the world, and then come to what we have in India, and we are going for a surge in number of patents as well as filed and granted, and what is the ecosystem in VIT and how we are taking care of the patenting here. So very brief outlook. I won't go to all the slides. It's going, yeah. So this is the overall data from WIPO. So you can see the patent application, we have increase of 1.7% is 2022 data. And then this slide is important. The three major countries in the patent application is China, followed by US, followed by Japan. You can see the hovering number of China. It was US, which has been taken over by China recently. And you can see the increase in China. But there is a hope for India. If you look at the maximum percent increase in the number of patents in the top 20 region, we call it largest movers. India has the highest of 31.6% increase number of patents, followed by Switzerland, and we have crossed China here. So this is the patent force worldwide is 17.3 million. So trademark I'll skip. Now design filing we're doing in VIT, so I'll show the design data. Design data also it's quite high, but it's reduced. So compared to, this was the major highlight actually. The patent data is more than the designs in 2022. This is the design filing, three major countries. Again, China is moving here, and this is followed by Turkey and Germany. US is nowhere in the design filing. Now, India, again, we have an increase here. If you look at the design filing also, India is the third spot with the 9.5% increase in the movers. So these are the industrial designs. Okay, the other things I'll skip from this slide. This is just to show you, this is from WPI report. Now we'll come to our, and move to the presentation. Yeah, you can open it now. Make it slideshow. Yeah, now it's, yeah. Thank you. It's fine. Okay. Now I am here not as director of CNBT, but I am presenting as a coordinator of IPRCL here. So I have given that here. So I'll tell you what we have done from IPRCL over last my 8 years experience with IPRCL and how we are moving ahead in the number of patenting. So we'll move like this. Yeah, this one. Yes. Okay. Fine. So this is again data from our own Indian Patent Office. And as you see, this data, we have the data for the patents as well as the file. This is 23 June, July, the newsletter from Indian Patent Office. And you can see there is a increase in the number of patents as well as number of patents filed and number of patents granted. There is 1.5 times growth in the number of patents filed, and this is the grant. Grant also is 5 times growth over time. So it's 2014-15 onwards to 2021-22. You can see growth in the number of both filing as well as grant numbers. Now, I'll give more importance to the commercialization as Professor Vijayalakshmi, after Professor Vijayalakshmi and Vaibhav and Professor Krishnan. So all of them touched upon the importance of the commercialization and what are the problems. Especially Professor Krishnan gave a very nice analogy as where we start and how we go. So I'll just give you the idea of VIT ecosystem and how we have grown over the IPs. So IPs, if you look at the commercialization, we always talk about the quality and quantity of publications. So when you look at publications, we always, I try to discuss and argue over the importance of quality of publication over quantity. Now, quality of quantity of patents is not very much common idea, but it has been introduced newly, and it shows that the quantity of patents we are looking at. Just now we looked at the graphs of WIPO, we looked at the data from Indian Patent Office and so on. That gives you only the quantity, the number of patents. But the quality of patents is verified when it comes for commercialization, what they were talking about. Whether you can take it forward, you can make it to a lab scale, to a bench, industry scale, and you can sell your product. You can commercialize. If people are interested, industry is interested in buying your patent or not. So that gives you the quality of patents. So far, we are interested in quantity of patents. So I'll be showing mostly data for quantity of patents as well as in VIT. But we are now looking at the quality of patents, whether you can commercialize the patents. So why commercialization is important? There are three major points here. One is by licensing the IP. IP here means patents or design. Institute like VIT, they can collaborate with any manufacturing industry to commercialize their technologies. So what does it lead to? It leads to the creation of the new products and services which can generate revenue for VIT as well as for the company. Second is transfer of technology. IP can also facilitate the transfer of technology from institute to the industry. This can lead to increase in the productivity. So all these are linked to the productivity. Basically, if you look at the economic status and economic data, you look at IIP value, Index of Industrial Productivity, and how it moves over trimester. That gives us the relation to GDP. Now, our industrial productivity now is moving around 5 to 6%, and almost the GDP also, you can see a very good correlation between IIP and GDP. So if you have an increase in the IIP and industrial productivity index, that will also improve our lifestyle, it will improve the GDP of the country. So the last point here, investment. So IP protection can attract investment from both the private and public sectors, and which can be utilized to further develop. So it's, you put in money and you get money out of it, and it goes in a cycle. So it's a productivity for both. Now, from this, we'll come to the VIT story, filing IPs and beyond. I'll keep it short. So these are the data for last 5 years. What are the filed, published, granted patents in VIT? And we have filed 327, published. As you know, filed and published, there will be difference because after filing, it takes 1 month to 2 months to get it published in a patent journal. So that there is a time lag and there is a difference in the numbers. So we have published 280 patents in last 5 years, and we have granted more than 100 patents so far in VIT Vellore campus. This data pertains to only the Vellore campus. So you can see last 5 years, next graph will show, there is a surge in number. So again, we are looking at quantity here. See, if you look at financial year wide data, because we are keeping different data, academic year, depending on the ranking agency, you get the data from IPR. So we have financial year data, academic year data, calendar year data. That doesn't matter much. So I have here presented the financial year or FY data. Now, it shows that we have a continuous increase in the number of granted patents in VIT as we go from meager 1 or 2 patents. I remember Professor Vijayalakshmi was again pioneer in having patents, and Professor Natarajan from CO2 Center, he has retired so far. He was one of the first patent awardees from VIT, and we had a very big function there for first patent awarding. So that was the first patent to start with in 2010, and we have moved up to 23 now. We are still counting now. Every day you can see we are sending mails for the grant of patents to faculty. So we are getting more and more grants now. And hopefully this will be increasing because now the government is proactive in having more filing and more the incubation time between the filing and grant is being reduced by different approaches from government. So that will of course increase the number of grants, because initially we always think about biotech patents. We file in 2015, we get it granted in 2021, 2022, 5-6 years gestation period was there. Now the gestation period has come down to even less than 1 year. Some of our patents we have seen which was filed in 2022, now it is getting FER and getting granted. The lowest it has come to 9 months, 12 months gestation period. So that is even being reduced now by government agencies to compete with this China proactively over the number of filing and granting. So that we can see an increase, and that will also reflect upon our granting if we can take more filing. So what we have done here, we have tried to establish an ecosystem for creation and transfer of knowledge. Professor Balachandran first started IPR. He is sitting here. He started the IPR cell here, and he was heading the IPR cell, the first IPR cell. And then he created the policies and other thing. We have just modified the policies over years as per the time demand. Basically, we tried to provide an ecosystem for the creation and transfer of knowledge by this IPR. It has been encouraging the innovation and converting the same in the intellectual property. So instead of publishing, we have given so many seminars for the research scholars. There are a lot of research scholars here. We have been talking to research scholars that always instead of publishing, you can think about whether you can patent it and get some commercial benefit out of it, or we can secure the knowledge before publishing the data. So that always we take. And now we are talking with academic research office so that you can get publishing. You can in thesis we generally take 1 or 2 publications with the guide. The same way, 1 publication from that requirement whether you can replace by patents. That is being done now, and within I think next 6 months you can see the regulations coming that one of the granted patents will be taking care of your one of the publication criteria, not both, but one criteria you want to replace by patent. That will come, that will encourage more, I think, more research scholars. But IPR cell, we come across a lot of research scholars coming to our office every day to discuss about patents. Because I know IDFs are being filled by JRFs and the research scholars. Because faculty will be very busy to fill a 5-page IDF. So mostly research scholars do it and they come with their doubts. So we encourage more research scholars to come into this. So faculty members or researchers are awarded. It started this year. A faculty research award, we are giving a monetary award for IPR also. This is starting from this year. So we want to carry forward these to research scholars also, like you are getting Raman Research Award for the publications. Same thing we want to start for the patent. We are in talk with again AR office for that. So these are the different process we are doing. So different modes of IPs, what we handle is patents, industrial design and copyrights. This all of you know, so I'm not going into detail. So these are the process what we follow again in VIT for IP. You start with the IDF transmission or IDF submission through VTOP. Then we have a preliminary examination review and then followed by the in presentation if you require. Then it goes to the lawyers for the patentability search, followed by the conclusions if they are positive that it there are three criteria generally for patentability search. One is the novelty criteria based on the prior art, and the inventive step or what is your process, and another is the industrial applicability. If these three processes or criteria are filled up, we go for filing the application, then filing request for examination is formed. Unless we file the request for examination, it won't be examined by the patent office. Then examiner submits the report. This is very briefly, and then depending on the report is favorable, it is granted, is very rare. So if it's adverse, the report is not good, then there will be objections like what you have in your publications. We try to answer those objections through again our lawyers, and then after the objections are more or less satisfied, then we go for granting, or they ask for hearing, and after hearing again we go for the next process. This is a roughly the loop from filing to grant of the patents. And luckily so far from IPR cell we didn't have a negative comments from IPR of Indian Patent Office so far. So whatever filing we have done through IPR cell all got granted without any decline so far. So coming to the last part of it, technology transfer, what we are doing now, we have the published and granted patents. We have already given the details on VIT website. And we are also encouraging the faculty and the scholars to interact with the industry. What Professor Vijayalakshmi and Professor Krishna was telling you, start working with industry and go for co-patenting. You go for co-owned patents so that the patents will be worked by the industry, or they will be working on the patents. So you get inherent technology transfer. You start working with the industry for developing the patent, co-own the patents. We have few success stories about co-owned patents. We have now 5 co-owned patents in VIT where industry are the partners and they have shared the patent process money also. Then for the patents where you have a fast track approach where the faculty already contacted the industry, they don't want to co-own patent, but they want a fast track approach. We go for a fast track approach so that there are different processes in a patent office where you can go for fast tracking your grant of patent that we take often. Then training programs and other things we are continuing. So these are the differences, different initiatives we have taken. Patent application where this I already told you, VIT registered now with the Kapila scheme. You can check in the Ministry of Industry's website or Innovation Cell AICTE, and we are starting with the newsletter. So I'm just giving you the brief what we do for commercialization. We have yet to come up with very definite steps, but next few months you can see some more policies and the regulations coming for commercialization. We are working on it. So this is one of the limestone we have got last year's National Intellectual Property Awards under the category of jury special mention certificate IP recognition for rural centric. As you see, Minister Piyush Goyal is giving the award to our previous coordinator, Professor Nageshwar Rao. I also attended this, and we got a special mention award in the National IP award. So we, with the increased number filing and grant, we are sure that this year, even the next year also, we'll be able to crack a major award for the institute. This is a special mention. We want to go for within first 3 institutes to get the awards for the IP. So these are the context points. I think I've been brief. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to address. So if there are no questions, thank you all. Yeah, please.
Especially when university and industry are co-owners.
Thank you. So especially when university and industry are co-owners.
Anybody can commercialize it, and that's where industry always.
No, actually, we start with the agreement. For co-ownership, we start with the agreement for the sharing. So the revenues for them can be shared by both. That is one way, or it can be transferred the technology. Technology can be completely transferred to the industry. For that, we keep a clause that further negotiation and further act will be required before you go for complete technology transfer. You keep a clause there in the legal agreement. So we don't keep this complete commercialization or the transfer of technology as you are asking in the first agreement. First agreement, we keep it open. If they are agreeing, then we can go for 50-50 sharing. Most of the cases, they may not agree. If they don't agree, the further discussion and further clause, we keep one clause open that for commercialization, there will be further discussion. There will be another agreement giving the terms for commercialization so that we don't stop the co-parenting part.
And in case there is a scheme, it takes time to define that agreement.
Hmm.
Because for industry, that time becomes very
Hmm.
generally they give us kind of concept.
Hmm.
But what is your perception?
University, we have the 60-40 sharing between the faculty. So if it's generally what we have done for 3 industries, we have done. So for this, we have gone for 50-50 sharing. Both of them agreed. But there are some industries like we had few agreements for co-parenting with Tata. So Tata Group, they didn't agree for the technology transfer. They have written in the agreement itself the technology will be owned by them. Only they will be having the VIT will be as co-applicant, but they won't have any transaction facilities for the technology. That they have made in the agreement itself. So some cases the industry is very particular. The technology transfer, they will be owning the technology, but VIT's name will be there in the patent certificate as a co-applicant. That they make sure. But that is for the commercial they give us a project, and that project money they bear, of course. These are from project only, but they are very sure. We are trying to negotiate with them, but it's a David Goliath kind of negotiation, so we couldn't. Right. Right. This can be a binding. I understand. This can be a binding. Okay. Thank you.
Bio-entrepreneurship among students, scholars, and faculty, we would like to invite Dr. Shiva Ramamurthy, Professor and Dean, School of Biosciences and Technology, VIT, on stage. Dr. Shiva's expertise is in the areas of molecular biology, plant biotechnology, and conservation biotechnology.
Sound. Thank you. At the outset, I thank Dr. Balachandar, Sudha Madam, and other organizers for giving me this opportunity. In fact, it is always problem to be a last speaker or one before the last, because I could see the beginning, the audience, and now it is slowly it is going down because of so many reasons. But nevertheless, I'm really happy that they asked me to talk very shortly. That is a great thing for me, because it's not a lengthy lecture like a classroom. It's just a 10 to 15 minutes talk about how to promote. There is a problem also. What I mentioned is like when previous speakers, when they are 4 or 5 members or all are expertise and well-known figures, they might have given all the topic whatever to be discussed. So they already covered whatever is pending here and there, pitch and other things which I am going to cover now. So let me start with that the quote what actually the Simon Sinek mentioned. He said that dream big, start small, but most of all start. The reason is, in fact, I'm not seeing here as a PhD scholar or a student. I'm seeing them as a future entrepreneur. The idea for conducting all this is to make you more entrepreneurship and encourage and motivate so that the country will grow, you will grow, and all over everyone will get benefit. So let us start with something over the period, it will grow itself by all your efforts and encouragement. Next slide. But there is, next slide. There is one more quote, which is by Hoffman. In fact, very lighter way he mentioned when we define about entrepreneur. He says that an entrepreneur is someone who jumps off a cliff and builds a plane on the way down. In fact, it's too risky. Though controversy from the previous slide, but still, the expectation is that they are taking high risk. In fact, Professor Krishnan very beautifully mentioned about the swimming in pool or in river or in ocean. Same way, like that how much you take a risk, that much of the the benefit that one will get. So, being a classical teacher, in fact, whenever the topic is there, we'll start from the beginning. What is entrepreneurship? What is the status in India? So, I'm not exceptional. So, many of you know, but I should also mention how this term entrepreneur came is actually not from English term. It is actually from the French term. And that means to undertake, to commit, to do something on your own. So, that is how the entrepreneurship has come. And let's see about India. In fact, many speakers have mentioned, even Archie mentioned about a lot of things what BioIndia does and what India is doing. Nevertheless, I am very happy to share that we are now in a very good position. Even the previous speaker, Professor Amitabh, also mentioned where India stands with respect to IP. And with respect to the entrepreneurship, we are really good position. We are now in the 4th out of top 51 countries. Not only that, and we are also having a largest startup ecosystem. That's very, very important. In fact, the ecosystem should help you to do something better. And we are one among the largest, and followed by China and USA. And the recent report says that we have 60,000 startups, and there is a gradual improvement, as you can see from this slide. In 2020, we were actually 5.3 percentage, the percentage of what you call the entrepreneurship activity as per JEM. All of you know what is JEM, Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. But in 2021, that 5.3 percentage goes up to 14.4 percentage. And similarly, the 2021, there were around 42 unicorn were actually created. So that clearly shows there is a promotion, there is a motivation, and India is really shining well and it is growing. Next slide, please. Let's talk about bio-entrepreneurship. So whatever I mentioned about India is the general entrepreneurship. The topic what was given to me is about bio-entrepreneurship, how to promote. So you know very well that the Indian biotechnology has a lot of future. And one of the students also mentioned about what is the role of synthetic biology, what is the role of pharma. Lots and lots of questions are there. Need not to be panicked, need not to be worried. We have a very long future, and it is one of the fastest growing. In fact, whatever you do in India is really, it will be successful one because of so many reasons, because of the diversity, because of the resources, and so on and so forth. And currently we are one among the top 12 biotechnology destinations in the world. And in fact, India has nurtured the biotech-based training and industry. Last 3 decades we are seeing. In fact, Arshi very clearly mentioned about what are all the funding opportunities, what are all the other opportunities available for it. So the government is supporting, especially for the biotech entrepreneurship. And there are so many examples. Due to lack of time, I'm not going to give each and everything, but the great example what I can say is about the Krishna Ela from Bharat Biotech. Everyone knows, everyone read in WhatsApp messages and of course the newspaper messages. We really be proud that we overcome the COVID issue. Not only we survive, but we also help the others to survive, especially the poor countries and other developing countries. We gave the vaccine and we have done. So all this because of those entrepreneurship by Bharat Biotech, and so many examples are there. Next slide, please. So policy wise, in fact, the India is aiming to nurture especially the young students. In fact, this is the reason why this institute, along with the TBA, is actually doing is the institutes like the students with the age of 18 to 24, they want to give the idea about, they want to nurture the young mind, so that there are so many schemes are there, as you can see, like a Startup India, BioIndia programs and entrepreneurships. Even in the school level, in the curriculum, they are making bio business and other entrepreneurship related. So all these are there. But the question is, have we achieved all this in a short span of time is the question. Let's see. In fact, it is not really a great achievement. Still, we need more promotion. That's why a lot of workshop and training and the centers of TBI and other thing is there. As you can see from that, the entrepreneurship is not a easy task. It involves a lot of risk. If you are ready to take a risk, then it is really a very, very good to shine here. And especially the report says only 10% of the entrepreneurs are succeed. And especially with respect to the biotech startup, even the percentage shows very less. It's not a threatening message, it's a realistic fact we should understand. Okay, next slide, please. So what actually our research do? In fact, very beautifully, Dr. Vijay mentioned about doing research. It's a pattern we do. Everyone is doing research, and in fact, in our school, biotech school, we have 655 scholars as of now, and we produce so many scholars in the past. And whatever we do is only for the knowledge, just to understand what we are doing or what we understand about the science. In fact, Vijay clearly told, don't use the word applied science or basic science. I'm just controversy with that. Anyway, that's a different opinion. So there are blend of research which is going on. At the end, what we are getting is only about the knowledge, whether it's a scientific understanding. And another thing is knowledge leading to the product. Then whether the knowledge leading to the process or the knowledge leading to the skill. In fact, these are all the things which we actually should understand about that. Let me brief with my own experience. Next slide. My own research story that with the coconut. In fact, a few years back, 10 years back, when I was with my mother, she used half coconut and for the cooking purpose, and the remaining half coconut she kept at the home, and she went to our native place. 2 weeks she was in there. After 2 weeks, when she came back, the coconut, wherever she kept, it remained as such. So that means I never been to kitchen, never cooked or something, or never bother what is happening to that. But when she come, she see that the same coconut was with this kind of contaminations or the infection. She know very well that I am very much working on pigments, dyes. So she gave me this gift. Do something if you can, and give it to some students and work on it to identify what is that pigment and what is that. Then finally, I asked my students, next slide. So I asked my students to inoculate in the petit plate. Then since it's growing well in coconut, we gave fresh coconut. Since it's rich with a lipid, it's growing well. And as a typical researcher, we identify what is that bacteria. It is a Serratia rubidia. Ruby means red. We also identify classical chromatographic technique. What is that pigment? We identify that it is a protegiocene. We now stopped that. So we want to apply that, what we can do. So we applied with the varieties of materials, let's say like a fur, plastic, fiber, and so on. It's really working well. As a researcher, what I did, as Vijay rightly said, next slide, I just published a paper which got 60-70 citations. My H index increased. I feel happy that yes, I have a paper for my MTech student, and the title says that characterization and enhanced production of protegiocene from the spoiled coconut. Next slide. But next slide. Next. But here it is. This is not something new to you. Previously we have discussed this slide. What it shows, last para, 2, second, third, and fourth is very, very important. We got a product, whether we process it, whether we commercialize it, and whether we have coming to the market. So we have to think in that way, like, it's not, should not be end up only with the making the publications and end up with, some citations and other thing. As it was pointed out by the previous speaker, it has to be moved to the next level. Next slide, please. So in fact, there is a huge opportunities for the biotech. In fact, Archie, when she mentioned about, she used the word BT cotton. We are second largest producer and consumer of cotton. And BT cotton, Bacillus thuringiensis, there is a crystal protein. The world is changing, right? The scenario is changing. So whatever she mentioned is about Gossypium hirsutum. It is not native of India. It is actually the native of the China. That cotton only we are using. And that cotton only we have produced the transgenic using ICP, that insecticidal crystal protein. but those kind of the crystal protein will give, you know very well, being a biotechnology student, you know that gene will resistant, and because of that the cotton will get resistant genes against that caterpillar. But the scenario is changing now. The caterpillar is getting resistant genes. It is no more resistant to ICP. And then what is the meaning of doing the insecticidal crystal protein to the cotton? Even if you do also, the infection will happen not only with the cotton but also with the brinjal and a variety of plant. Now change the strategy. That's what even Vaibhav also, Dr. Vaibhav also mentioned, that what is needed today, the market, whatever you sell should be sellable, right? So now the world is focusing in other way. We are working now on desi cotton. We have Gossypium arboreum. Gossypium arboreum naturally having the insecticidal resistant property, but still it is not being used. Why? Because the fiber yielding is very less. Gossypium hirsutum is having high fiber production, but which doesn't have the insecticidal resistance, while Gossypium arboreum is a desi cotton, which is naturally having insecticidal resistance, but do not have a good fiber yielding. So now people working on biotechnological approach, how to overproduce more on fiber so that this Gossypium arboreum can be used. So like that, the opportunities are wide. We have to think about, and there are so many herbal products. And Professor Krishna mentioned about aloe vera. It is one example. India is one among the 17 megadiversity countries in the world. None other country is having such a huge bioresources. And there are 200,000 natural metabolites are there, and lots of pharmaceutical application, and lots of products are being selling. Then one example, let me tell you, COVID, we faced a lot of, near and dear we missed, right? And the doctor suggested us to take the supplementary like a Zingovit. In fact, that is a different story. The Zingovit production, the plant has increased tenfold. I don't know, if you read, you can understand. The industry, actual industry, whatever they produce, they didn't expect that there will be a huge demand for their product, and there were 10 more plantation of those, the plant they created. In one of the things they approached us, because in Zingovit, even now, if you see the vial, you can, bottle, you can see that they are also adding lutein. And the lutein is actually what they are getting is from the grape. So being a bio entrepreneur, just I am telling you, like, there is so many ways to do. It's become a very good business. What they do is they are taking the grapes and they just getting the 100 daily wages. One can peel the skin and another one can use the flesh. The third one is the seed. The skin can be used for different pigments. Every pigment is highly valuable. Flesh can be given to the juice, fresh juice and other thing. From the seeds, the lutein directly, the people are grinding and use. Nothing required of much technology. Only the system should understand, and they have to adapt to the necessary. So like that, there are so many opportunities are there. Next slide. And I'm not going to give or read each and every one. Someone asked about synthetic biology. In fact, there are so many ways we can use the human related and environmental related and agri related and other bio business related. The opportunities are wide. Only we have to see and what we have to do with that. Next slide, please. Yeah, when we talk about the pharma, because most of the things we end up with the biotech means vaccine, product, and pharma, but it is not so easy, right? And Dr. Krishna mentioned about one molecule with which is obtained from the aloe vera. And when we are really going for that in the drug discovery, the report says that we will be analyzing 5,000 to 10,000 compounds. But when we go to the preclinical, it will be end up only with the 250 natural molecules or the compound. And next stage, when we are going for preclinical to clinical, only 5 compounds will be there. Then finally, when we look for the FDA approval, out of 5, only 1 will be approved. So it's everywhere, right? And even Dr. Amitabh mentioned we are filing 300 and publishing 280. Finally, what we are getting granted is 100. So each stage there is a filter. So drug industry, it is not so easy. And out of that 5,000 to 10,000 compounds, what we are getting is 1. So what it says, most important message from this slide is patience and never give up. So being an entrepreneur, you should be very patient and you should not give up. Many speakers mentioned that failure will be if you face more. If you miss,
then obviously whatever you're supposed to get, you may miss. So that is what I feel from this. Next slide. Despite all these problems, in fact, today we are getting so many products which is reaching the market. And in fact, I always quote this statement what Louis Passion mentioned. He mentioned that whatever the knowledge that we are having, that should be turned into the application that ultimately should reach to the society. Being a young entrepreneur with the vision, I'm telling you, he says that to him who devotes his life to science, nothing can give more happiness than increasing the number of discovery. But his cup of joy will full when the result of his studies immediately find practical application. So this is what he says. So we do not know whatever the research that we do today will be useful in future or even can save some life. Next slide. So with respect to the promoting entrepreneurship, there are so many ways. In fact, 5 ways we can do. One is the quality education that in fact VIT and SBST is already doing. We are offering so many courses like bio business, entrepreneurship related, then even trap. There are so many courses that we are kindling that. Then we also do the instill or impress on idea on someone, then collaborating with the young entrepreneurs, then link between academia and industry, then finally attract investment from the government and the capitalists. So these are all 5 ways by which we can do. The next slide. Next slide. In fact, what we do is we really encourage the young minds, in fact, especially the undergraduate level itself. So there is an event called IGEM, that is what even Vijay also today morning she mentioned about. So the International Genetic Engineering Mission. So since 2018, SBST is part of that. And in fact, this is the one which is about the synthetic biology, where we try to solve the world's problem. When we recruit those students for this IGEM competition, we are really observing that there are so many ideas, so many thought process which we are observing from the young minds. And some of them is over imaginary, which cannot be really practical, but nevertheless, I should appreciate that we are encouraging the students to think, right? So that's how, in fact, in 2018, when we got with the bronze medal, then 2019, we got silver medal. And last year, we got again silver medal. This year, we got the gold medal. So there is an improvement. There is a practical, the application and society need-based work. And that's why these kind of the achievements we could make. Then we also encourage so many clubs and chapters in schools. And all this, like let's say like Alpha Biocell, then Society for Biological Engineering, and the other clubs and chapters, which is really motivating, and so many industry people are coming and they are giving the lectures that really help to promote the young entrepreneur to become the entrepreneur. Then we are also running the courses. I mentioned bio business for the BTech and MTech students, then entrepreneurship courses for MSc students, and so on. Then most importantly, we are conducting Bio Summit. There is an event called the Bio Summit. I think many of you know about that. This is the summit which is to bridge the gap between industry and academia. So morning Vijay also mentioned there is always a gap between the industry and the academician. So to fill the gap, we are doing all those activities. Then there is also a bio-inspired design fest. That is also another one wonderful thing where we encourage the students to think more. And in fact, to be an entrepreneur, first of all, we have to kindle their thinking knowledge, right? If not, they are thinking what they will get. So that's why all these are we are doing. Next slide, please. With that bio-inspired design, this is a recent clipping. In fact, 3 students, especially Pooja, Venkatesh, Piyush, Batmanabhan, and Alok. So it was appeared in our newspaper. So they are our alumni of SBST. They were 2007 batch, and they actually associate with the NBIL. That is the next big innovation lab with lots of grants and recognition. So nowhere to go anywhere else. In fact, here itself there is a lot of example. Our own biotech students are really doing a lot of entrepreneurship, and they are very successful as well. Next slide, please. Yeah, next. You can I'm not going to give more detail because the next speaker, Dr. Balachandar, will discuss more about what are the TBI related and the other government related morning Arshi also mentioned about. But there is a lot of opportunities previously. There are a lot of opportunities available previously, please, in different stages. In fact, in early stage or late stage or translational research and social innovation. So in each stage, there is a what do you call the there is the availability of the opportunities for grant or the fund. Maybe we have to use those fund. The next slide. There are more than 40 entrepreneurs from SBST. Already 40 entrepreneurs are there. I'm not going to read all say about these are all some of those students who are really shining well in their field and make us proud. Okay, next slide. So in future, what we are planning is to give more the biotech quality biotech education and more skill based courses that we really help the students to become more entrepreneur. And in fact, we also motivate the young minds to nurture the venture ideas. Then, of course, we try to have more industry and academia collaboration. Then finally, motivating seasoned scientists, faculty members, and research students to look into entrepreneurship opportunities. So finally, I just want to say with the again quote: if opportunity doesn't knock, please build your door. So you have to make, no one will do for you. It is you who has to do with that. And thanks for the opportunities. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much, sir. Any one quick question to Dr. Shiva?
I think they need a break.
It's a marathon session anyways.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the session. Finally, to share about what VITTBI has for bio businesses, I would like to call upon our director, Dr. A. Balachandran. Dr. Balachandran is the Vice President of the Indian Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Parks and Business Incubator Association of India. He comes with over 3 decades of industry and incubation management experience. Thank you, sir, for it.
Thank you. So first of all, let me thank BioIndia for allowing us to conduct this event. So this is a run-up to the Global BioIndia, which is going to happen in Delhi from 4th to December. So some of you might be interested to join that. Even we have 2 stalls and 3-4 of our companies also will be present there. And I thank all the speakers, starting from Dr. Arshi, Professor Vijay, Dr. Vaibhav, and Dr. Krishnan and Dr. Amitav Mukherjee and Professor Shiva for giving different perspective from this morning. And thank you all for your patient listening and staying, though it's quite late, though we plan to close it by 12:15, but we are running behind the schedule. So maybe I'll take next 10-15 minutes to give a brief about what we do in the business incubator at VIT. VITTBI is a 20-year-old entity. We started with the support of Department of Science and Technology, Government of India in the year 2003, when even the word incubation was very, very early and people did not understand. In fact, when we advertised for our incubation in the year 2003, there were a couple of calls from the Chittoor hatcheries and Namakkal hatcheries and a hospital, thinking that we are manufacturing and selling incubators. So that was a scenario there. But thanks to all the initiatives, Startup India and this promotion given by various government agencies, the startup word is quite ingrained in the minds of youngsters. And it's also becoming a motivation for many of the students, even when they are in the campus, even thinking of a startup. Many first-year students, as they enter the campus within a week, 10 days, they come and tell us that they have been doing a startup for 2 years. We were wondering like how a +2 student could do a startup. And so that's the democratization of the entrepreneurship and the opportunities many of the previous speakers have highlighted. So I'm going to be brief more on the support ecosystems, the governments, and at VITTBI we provide for people with ideas. So we currently partner with multiple government agencies. We work with the Department of Science and Technology. We continue to work with them. We work with DBT, BIRAC. We work with Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Many state governments. We also do some consulting and provide policy inputs for the different agencies promoting entrepreneurship. Currently, our thrust areas are ICT, information and communication technology, biotech, which has been our thrust areas since beginning, since 2003. And we also support medical devices. And so these are all the areas where we have certain expertise. We have some specialized facilities, but we consider even other ventures if there are elements of innovation and technology development possibilities. So this is inclusive. It's not a very exclusive list to begin with. So to understand the concept of incubation, TBI is in the center, the infrastructure and the knowledge and the network support. People with idea enter into the system. We provide access to money, access to mentoring, access to market facilitation, and access to talent, which is quite unique with respect to VIT's incubation offering. And one of the speakers also mentioned about the failure rate. Only about 10% of the startups succeed. Especially in biotech, it will be much lesser, maybe 2-3% of the ventures succeed. So the incubation is predominantly a risk mitigation arena where the risk faced by the startups, you need not have to fight it all alone. There are support windows available, and we aggregate those support for you to move ahead with your idea. So the risks are minimized. Typically, about 60 to 70% of the companies that undergo incubation succeed. So this is the global statistics, and we are striving hard to increase this percentage. Even 80 would be a good number to work on. As far as facilities, we refurbished with the support of BIRAC. We have a bioanalytical instrumentation and biotech product development facility. Also, electronics product and a mechanical prototyping facility. This was refurbished at a cost of about 3 crores 4 years ago. And so we have 3 dedicated staff manning this, and the equipment is kept update and maintained well. So anytime you could make use of these facilities. Apart from this, we also periodically run some familiarization programs, workshops, training programs, even. Help to you. Is it audible at the back? Yeah. So it will help you to upskill and learn the latest concepts. And so as far as funding, one of the important elements, the entrepreneur early funding. Vitamin M is very, very important for an early stage idea or a startup company. So there are multiple windows of. When somebody moves from idea to proof of concept. Yeah. In the idea to proof of concept stage, we do have this Nidhi Prayas grant. We are in the 4th year of operation. Every year we have a 1 crore budget, maximum 10 lakh per idea. And even yesterday and today afternoon, we have the final screening meeting for few more ideas. So I think close to 50 ideas we have supported, and many have become companies, startup companies. And these are all national open calls. So anyone from anywhere can apply. But consider number of VIT students, alumni, and faculty also made use of it. And so there is also multi tied to, which is a technology innovation and development of entrepreneurship scheme, which again has 2 grant components. One is a proof of concept grant, which is up to 7 lakhs. The other one is entrepreneur in residence, which is a 4 lakh grant. And this year we have also commenced a Nidhi EIR fellowship program, which is a 30,000 rupees fellowship.
So if you have an idea and you're a graduate or you have just completed your studies and you want to take an immersion for a year just to explore whether this idea will work, whether there are customers, whether you will be in a position to do a validation. So all these dipstick activities, there's a 30,000 rupees fellowships and interestingly, I think despite multiple calls, we received only very limited applications, and we are going to again restart the application process. If any of you or any of your friends are interested, could make use of this opportunity as well. 30,000 rupees fellowship just to explore for a year to understand whether you have the potential to become an entrepreneur or not. No strings attached. Even if there is a failure, in the end, you conclude that this is not for me, this is fine. Government is willing to allow that kind of experiments. Similarly, with the Nidhi Prayas grant also, for right reasons, if there is a failure, if you're unable to succeed, it's okay. You can move on and do something else later. The previous one. The previous slide. Yeah, we also have other seed funding. Once your proof of concept is complete, you want to develop a prototype, do some market validation, batch production, there are seed funds available. We are one of the first 5 incubators in the country to start the seed fund with the Technology Development Board in the year 2005. And we do have this Nidhi seed fund support, which is up to 1 crore funding. So last year we funded about 6 startups, and this year we have selected 6. The due diligence is underway, and this is a 10 crore corpus over next 3 years. So this is against equity. Most of the investments happen against equity. And BioIndia again has a seed fund. We had 2 rounds of fund to the tune of 3 crores. We have invested in 9 companies, and again there is a possibility of getting further extension. And Ministry of Electronics also, some of you might be wondering, we are from bio side, how this Ministry of Electronics grant will be helpful. So the application could be in medical, it could be in agri, automation. So anything to do with your bioscience experience in applications in other domains with electronics or information technology, these grants are available. 35 lakhs scale-up grant has been introduced, and 3 of our companies backed this 35 lakh scale-up grant, and this is also there. Apart from that, we have also partnered with 2 corporates. So one is LG for capacity building, and they fund us at least 20-25 lakhs every year. This is the second year of operation. And with Data Corporation, again, there is a grant available for startups for moving from your POC to prototyping. So this is another grant, and I think 6 or 7 of our companies got this Dana. And we're also connected with angel investors, venture capitalists for further follow-on scale-up funding. So funding is not a constraint. Now more money is chasing ideas. The ideas are becoming scarce, or the execution capability is becoming scarce. So if you have a right idea, if you have some good skills, money is not a constraint at all today. Whereas 20 years ago, people have to go to a bank, wait for a year, and even if they have to pledge their personal property. So whatever the initial funding, which I mentioned, it's all risk-free, and it helps you to move ahead without any hurdles. Yeah. So this is another unique scheme. VIT is one of the 7 institutions in the country to partner with the Indian Bank. This is an exclusive scheme operated through Indian Bank, and only for startups through incubators. 4 of our companies have got a loan. This is during the scale-up stage, when the company is growing, when it requires working capital, and when the conventional bank schemes are difficult for startups. So this scheme comes very handy, and 4 of these our companies have got facilitation through this, and ranging between 1 crore to 2 crores. But Indian Bank has provision to raise up to 50 crores also. For if the company wants to grow rapidly, they could also raise up to 50 crores through this scheme. Yeah. So this is just numbers. 2005 to 15, we supported 50 plus projects with 3 crores, whereas in the last 7 years, you will see it has grown beyond 10 crores, and more than 100 projects are supported. And yeah. Talent access, this is one of the biggest strengths. So any company, any startup, you're not alone. You have 40,000 plus students in the campus. We have internship scheme. So any domain, any skill, you have easy access. And some of the students who undergone internship, they have also become co-founders. Some, after being with the company for some time, they have come back with a startup idea and they started on their own. So this is very unique, and it also helps you to sharpen your skill while you are on the campus. And so it's a flexi timing. Even in the late hours, students are allowed to work with the companies. And even Dr. Vaibhav, in fact, the kind of opportunities they get, one PhD student who joined Vaibhav now is going for PDF in Spain, right? France. And so that's the kind of opportunities. And so please make use of, even if you are not immediately starting, intern with a startup. That gives you a steep learning curve, which will help you to get things on the ground. Yeah. Mentoring, again, there was a discussion in the morning. How do you identify experts to guide you? There are 160 plus mentors now in the Chennai Bangalore ecosystem who are part of our incubation. So most of it is pro bono, and they are willing to help you spend time and help you to navigate the difficulties or difficult times which you are coming across. And apart from that, we have our own faculty members. So many of them are willing to spend their time and efforts. So we have very active engagement with a number of faculty members who are willing to support. So mentoring is very, very important for an early stage, because people who have been there, done that, it's very, very easy for them to solve your issues and challenges. And so the more and more you interact with mentors, solve this in the design stage itself, you save a lot of money, time, effort, without having to commit the same set of mistakes somebody would have seen it earlier or elsewhere. So this is an advantage of working with mentors. And market access, again, we are plugged with both national, international agencies. Few times, some of our companies are also were sponsored by Chinese government and other agencies for exhibiting their products, showcasing their work, reaching out to partners. So even GPI, it's a platform available, and we have taken 2 stalls. While it's okay for an incubator just to take 1 stall, we thought some of our companies also can make use of it and get visibility. So make use of these opportunities. And I still remember one of our companies, Alpha Louis Technologies. One of the students who was interning there, she used to be part of these exhibitions, and the way she spoke in the customer meetings, none of the visitors thought she's a student. They thought she's an employee of the company. And so that's the kind of professional grooming you also get once you work with companies. This kind of visibility is also immense, and the potential is quite huge. Training, I mentioned, there are several windows of training, both technical training, domain-based inputs, as well as business training. Whatever comes on the way, please make use of it. And most of it is very affordable. It's not priced in the commercial range. These are quite successful companies that have come out of VITTBI. Renora Wellness, very, very happy to state that it's a company started in 2017 with 2 students, 1 chemical engineering and 1 electronics and instrumentation. Now they are competing the Unilevers or Procter and Gamble's of the world on terms of price. They are present in 3,500 salons. It's a personal grooming product, and they're valued around 100 crores. And so soon we'll be taking exit from the company. And so Madras Fineworks is in the virtual reality space. Ashwa is the progressive monitoring of the physiotherapy, and Terralumin is a terahertz based technology for cancer margin detection. And we have Lamarck here, Vaibhav, Dr. Vaibhav. And so there have been very many other biotech companies also, starting from bioremediation to enzymes for industrial waste processing, personal genomics, and also personalized cancer therapy. There was a variety of companies from the beginning. And so these are all the opportunity windows that are available. And Insect Farm, last week, they also were awarded by the President of India under the Ministry of Food Processing. It's a Vellore-based company working with Vellore Municipal Corporation under the Smart City initiative for treating organic waste, converting organic waste into protein or animal feed. So they breed insects and treat this, which the conventional treatment takes 45 days, and they treat this waste close to 2 tons per day they're treating, and the cycle is about 7 to 8 days. So very, very interesting set of companies, and please make use of the opportunity. Yeah, for want of time, I'll stop here because it's already 1 o'clock. I don't want to hold from lunch. If there are some quick questions, I'll take. Otherwise, opportunity unlimited. And as Professor Siva said, if there is no window, create a door and move ahead. So, yeah, thank you all for your patience.
So good afternoon, everyone. So I take this opportunity to thank everyone. So for your patient listening. So we know that we have been a bit behind the schedule, but first of all, I would like to thank all the participants for your patient listening, and I hope you have got a lot of information from our esteemed speakers. So we request all of you to please make use of the opportunity. So I take this opportunity, I take this moment to thank the support from BIRAC and for conducting this Global BioIndia Event 2023 that is going to happen at the Pragati Maidan Bharat Mandapam, where the G20 event has taken place. So we hope that we may catch up with few of you. So between November 4th to December 4th to December 6th, 2023 at Pragati Maidan. So we have many of the interesting events going on. So and also I would like to thank the associated deans and directors of CNBT, CBST, SBST, and our startup company founder, Dr. Vaibhav. So again, I would like to thank VITTBI, so our director, our manager, and as well as others of VITTBI team for providing their continuous support. Also, I take this opportunity to thank the CTS and the PRO department of VIT for providing all the technical support. With this, so we wish you all the very best for your PhD, as well as we expect that few of you may really come up with as a good entrepreneur and as a VITTBI team. So we are ready to support you. So with this, we'd like to conclude the session by saying final thanks. Thank you all. This is